this can be something that is said like on the stream. Welcome back to Naruto making wave or Naruto D&D making waves, a Naruto 5 adventure. I'm your host Plus Ultraman, or AKA Plus, AKA Weeb. And something I want to say was thank you guys so much for turning out and showing up and showing out on session 1. That was amazing to see the reception of it. I did not expect that warm of a welcome to something that is pretty experimental on my channel, and I was also really happy to see how welcoming and loving the community has been towards the players and the characters. So it's been really cool to see. I am here with my wonderful players who have agreed to go through my possibly grueling game. Pickle Dill playing
Ava Rice, level 2 medic nin.
Yep. Rune Scribble playing
Kesho Hikari, level 2 intelligence operative.
Correct. And the Storybuster playing
Nanamo Junbai, playing a level 2 hunter nin.
Yes. Shini Sensei's wonderful students and the members of Team Zero of the Hidden Wave Village. But something I was just saying we were talking about was I got some great criticisms and feedback over the course of session 1. I've learned some lessons. Like, one thing I'm going to do is not play music for myself like while we're streaming the game, because we have two Aussies, and one Brit. So my American ass is really straining everyone's processors while trying to vibe out right now. So I'll just wait until I do the actual like finished session that gets recorded and thrown up for the vibe out soundtrack. Something else I've learned is shut up a little bit more. And other than that, I don't know. We were talking a little bit. You guys were saying some questions. What we can do now is our wonderful Pickle Dill has offered to recap our first session. So if you would not mind.
Thank you, Plus. So, in session 1, for those who missed it or just need a refresher, our 3 young heroes officially became the first genin of the Land of Waves, following an less than ideal graduation ceremony and an altercation with Nanamo's parents that led to a visit to their lovely restaurant. They encountered their squad leader, Sensei Shininara. There, he gave them the bone test that Ava did pretty well in, just saying, followed by the real test, in which they were placed under genjutsu and forced to attempt to save their village from what they believed was a homicidal madman. Following their declaration that they would fight for their nation and murder said sensei/madman, they were officially inducted into Squad Zero and began their own personal training under Shini. If you haven't seen the amazing after story done by Plus about what was spent in the next month, I recommend doing so. But now, on to session 2.
I really do appreciate the praise on the after story. Team Zero find themselves in the midst of their travel to the land of hot water. You guys have been, you've learned tree walking, so now jumping from tree to tree is actually you're getting the hang of it pretty well, and it's actually really fun now that you do it. So you've been doing that for, we're gonna say 2 to 3 days. You're not so far from the village that if you really wanted to go back, you couldn't make it back, but you're not closer to your destination than you are to the land of waves. You guys are actually cutting through the land of fire, but you're doing pretty much a beeline to the land of hot water. So you're not going to be in the land of fire proper so much, just fire country so much.
We're at that border area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably throw the map up for it. Like, that might be what the background of this stream is, you guys traveling over the map.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have something they would like to do first, or are you wanting to open the floor to the unbridled cruelty of Ava Rice?
Yeah, I'm turning it over to you guys for now to see what you'll do.
Okay.
Take the lead.
Alright, if you insist. Ava is partaking in her favorite new hobby, badgering and belittling her poor teammate, Nanamo. Specifically at the moment, she's asking him, why do you have a single piece of armor over your left shoulder? I've seen you train with shurikens. You're right-handed. What possible use is there to shielding just your left and your shoulder? What's the thinking there, Nanamo, or do you just not think how you dress?
Kind of see Nanamo for the first time, kind of truly considering why that's there. He looks at it. I just think it looks cool. It gives a bit of armor defense to myself. It's a good, stand out with, the rest of the outfit. And push comes to shove, I suppose I could always, just move my shoulder to block a kunai.
That's true. Your face would probably do a better job. It's a bigger target, but if you insist, I suppose you could use the shoulder too.
Well, it's better than taking it to the face.
Sheeny's actually going to ask you guys while we're jumping. If anybody doesn't want to jump in while Ava has said this, he's going to say, speak up and go, hey, now that you bring it up, I actually am kind of wondering, why do none of you wear your forehead protectors on your forehead?
Huh?
Where it's spelled your forehead protectors, your headbands.
Oh,
You've got yours on your leg, Hikari. Nanamo, you got yours kind of over your heart. I guess that's not bad. And Ava wears hers as is that a choker?
Yes. It's a neck guard. I have a thick
Unfortunately,
skull. A kunai would be likely to get embedded in my skull before it hit my brain. Conversely, my incredibly slittable throat is very soft, so putting a piece of metal between that and a kunai is just anatomical logic.
I think you're thinking about regular person anatomical logic, Ava. Not really, the stabby person who has the force behind their arm to cut down trees or crack the ground like Shinobi do. We're more like precision vehicles. If somebody could build something like a car or something like that, we're a little stronger than the average I guess horse and buggy that a civilian would be. I don't know. I was just curious. Hopefully you guys learn to guard the spots that aren't those good. I guess some of those spars were pretty slow. Yeah. Strength grows with time. All right, you guys, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Did anybody else want to respond to Ava before I give you your first traveling challenge?
Before...
Not really. Hikari isn't really paying all that much attention to what's going on with Ava and Nanama. Oh, she's just whittling away. He had a bit of wood with a kunai.
Okay. Yeah, Sheeny's gonna see that. He's approving of that. That seems like something you guys might have talked about at one point. In that case, before I give you your first challenge, Sheen is also ready to reveal something that is, I guess, like a little treat for the students. He's going to bring you guys to rest for a little bit. You can kind of stop on a tree at some point. So you've jumped and now you're just kind of landing on one branch and letting it shake a little bit as you get your momentum under control. Mm-hmm. And he's going to reveal, how did goodbyes go with family and stuff for everyone but Ava, I suppose?
Ava's just going to purse her lips a little at the way that's phrased. It's not untrue. She didn't like the way it was said.
Hikari grimaces and looks away and shifts uncomfortably and says, okay, I guess.
Unanimo?
They went as good as they could have gone for this situation.
Uh-huh. I expected as much. And Ava, how come you didn't choose somebody to say goodbye to?
Why would I? There's no one important to me in that village.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about that. It's about the will of ways, if you will. Somebody should know where you're going to be, and if you don't come back, even if they seem like they don't care now, it's going to affect somebody.
There's no one alive who'd care if I died.
Yeah, okay.
That's not true.
After a month with your team, you're still saying stuff like that about them. Hurting poor Hikari's feelings.
Hikari, do you care about me?
Hikari blushes and doesn't meet Ava's eyes. Well, you're my teammate, so why wouldn't I?
Counterpoint, why would you?
Do I need a reason to care?
For the record, being teammates is a pretty good reason to care, in my opinion.
Ava's going to furrow her brow at the idea of, what do you mean caring without a reason? That does not compute. Everyone's only out there for themselves, so everything must be done with a reason, right? That's what her look says, even if she can't articulate it at the moment.
You're always so coldly logical with some things and then deeply emotional with others. Listen, kids, the reason I asked is because I am spending a little time by myself trying to figure something out for you, and I've devised a way for you to send personal correspondence back and forth to the village and some of your loved ones. I've mostly devised this so I can send in mission reports to your village council, but it can be used for personal stuff. I would ask that you try and stay away from detailing mission details, but I figured out a way to basically give us a messenger hawk, just a little bit different.
Hikari immediately perks up at that. That's looking at Sensei, not exactly with admiration, but appreciation.
Well, it's mission parameters that don't get... He's going to kind of shy away, seeming as if he's unable to meet the, actual, genuine, not even genuine admiration, but, genuine, happiness from his students or something he did.
Ava's going to raise her eyebrows. You really just chided me for struggling to connect with my team, and you're reacting like that? Giving him the smuggest raised eyebrows, you got good nothing to say about that, bonus sensei.
Not as I do. Makes a class A hypocrite out of you.
Exactly. It's not like I'm bad at you about stuff, Ava. Hell, I've been trying to make sure I go to dinner with you and Hikari and her family a little bit just to get her nutrition back online. Anyway, would anybody like to test it out?
Yes, please.
Okay, Hikari, he's going to look at you and he's going to do a few hand signs. And then over your shoulder, kind of like out of the shadow of your hair and like ear, you're going to feel a hand like kind of crawling on you. And when you look, it's just a skeletal hand that's just kind of like there, like tapping, like waiting, as if it's like typing with like a typewriter on your body. And Sheenie's gonna say, how did I want to? We'll do it this. Grim Ninja Arts, Dead Poet Society. So this comes up, and basically all you have to do.
That reference.
I'm glad you do. Basically, all you have to do now is it's gonna even like do the little like phone like hand sign like near you, and all you have to do is just kind of speak into it. It's kind of like a sending stone, but you don't have as harsh a wording limit because this is really going to be used for end stories a lot of the time. So, and because it's Sheenie's version of it, it can be a little broken. If you guys develop some kind of thing like this, or just get a messenger hawk, you might have a harsher limit to transpond or correspond with someone. Excuse me.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like a little thing from Adam's Family on your shoulder now.
Only a lot more skeletal.
Yeah, it's the little like black hand, like the what I showed the players was the black ghosts from Ajin, like the invincible black matter creatures that come out from those. Those are basically what Sheenie's constructs will look like a lot of the time. It looks like a skeleton like formed out of the shadow stitching jutsu and stuff like that, but it still has like the kind of physical mass of the dead Pone bulls from the Kaguya clan.
Huh.
So yeah, it's like kind of just sitting there. It's almost wagging. It's almost wagging like the wrist bone, like a tail, and just like waiting to do its job.
That is both creepy and adorable.
Yeah, it's chilling. So Hikari, you could transpose a message now, where it could just be like a short thing, or it could just be you getting creeped out of it. It's up to you.
Yeah, Hikari could be a tiny.
I could have you roll. I could have you roll a wisdom save to see if you get frightened.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a wisdom save.
Go for it.
Let the dice roll.
Let it roll.
I rolled a 6, and my wisdom save is 1, so that's a total of 7.
Hikari, I feel like you might get too freaked out to use it right now. I feel like you would
yeah.
Be like...
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes total sense for Hikari. She's going to need a bit to get used to this.
Yeah, Sensei is going to be like, this might have been the exact wrong person to try this one the first time, and he's gonna look at either Nanamo or Ava like a little like, you want to give it a go, or should I go ahead and dispel it?
Ava's still giving you those same raised eyebrows. Just now, it's you think, poor Hikari was really the one to use your creepy bone jutsu on.
I made this for you.
Ava's
Have you guys ever seen Hot Kool-Aid by Julian Smith? It's a YouTube video.
No, I have not.
Okay, basic premise is there's two brothers, and one of them is like a cheeky like inventor, like who he's very unemployed. And one morning, the like brother who I suppose is employed and just like does his thing gets up, and the cheeky brother is like, "Hey brother, I made a pot of Kool-Aid," and he's like holding up a coffee pot full of Kool-Aid, and the older brother is like, "Why did you make a pot of Kool-Aid? Because it's hot." He's like, "Oh, okay." And he just doesn't want the hot Kool-Aid. So they start arguing, and at one point, the brother who made the hot Kool-Aid goes, "I made this for you! I did it because I love you!" And I feel like that's what Sheena would be saying in his head right now. He just won't. He has enough control not to do it. But yeah, this is hot Kool-Aid. Shout out all hot Kool-Aid Julian Smith fans. That's classic YouTube.
Yes. Meanwhile, yeah, Ava's just giving him the disapproving raised eyebrows. Really, what part of you thought this was a good idea?
All right, he's gonna go ahead and dispel it and ask if you kids want to take a longer break for the day, or get back to traveling.
No, let's get back to traveling. Come on, guys, we can get there faster if we move.
Are you jumping off by yourself?
Saying this, but Nanamo is right.
Oh, I'm alright. I've taken a jump after my declaration.
Okay.
We should probably go after him before he gets hurt, shouldn't we?
Well, not doing so could
anything.
lead to death, so I agree.
I'd
Um,
rather get off
and
them
that being the
after he
case,
gets hurt. Majority rule.
Good. Drag me to hell. Nanamo, you will have the first, what I'm going to call travel check. I want you to give me some kind of way in which Nanamo could use one of his skills, proficiencies, background, something that could make the course of your travel easier, more efficient, safer, what have you, more profitable, more, however you want to do it.
So, since I've already taken off, and my top speed is likely faster than those behind me, I'm going to dash off a bit ahead, forging a path to kind of keep my eye out for trouble ahead of the group, making sure that if there's danger afoot, I would see it first, and then the team would catch up and I can give them a bit of warning. Essentially acting as a scout for the party.
Okay. I'm gonna call that a you guys have
Maybe
investigation, perception. I'll let you choose, Buster. Investigation or perception seem like they'd be the smartest for
I'm
that.
proficient in perception, so we'll take perception.
Go for perception.
That is 9.
Got a 9. With a 9, you don't notice anything you feel like should be relayed to the group. As for if there is anything that should be relayed to the group, I'm gonna roll secretly.
I'm just having too much fun bouncing around tree to tree.
Being a happy little squirrel.
I will say there is something that could have been relayed to the group, but it's not danger. It's maybe a resource that could have been used.
Okay.
So it's maybe like. Go ahead, Ava.
There's a missed opportunity for profit. How horrid! You fucked us up
Maybe
again.
not profit so much as like foraging. So like maybe had he noticed this, he could have. Maybe had Akari been the one to notice this, she would point out like, oh, okay, that would have been useful. But that's a missed opportunity.
Well, we are behind him.
You are. I'm gonna say if you want to go for the same thing, if you want to try and trigger the same event, the DC will increase.
Ava
Would it
won't
be better
because
for me to use perception or survival for this?
Survival may work better for you because I'm pretty sure you should have some proficiencies in it. The other thing I would keep in mind is it might be better to just try a different thing to make the journey easier. If you guys are stuck or want a plan, I could offer you one. I'm gonna try and hold back from straight up just laying out ways to win the game so much.
Fair, but I'm just thinking because they're traveling through a forest and Hikari is Hikari, she'd probably be using survival in order to keep an eye out for anything useful anyway, because she's had to do that basically all her life.
I could give you that, yeah. You could roll your survival roll, and if it's above a certain number, just because you're going the same direction as Buster, I'll let you notice it, and then you can do your travel check next. We'll do it that way.
Okay. Rolling. 8 plus 4 equals 12.
You notice it. There is a grove of mushrooms around a tree. Hikari, you will recognize
poisonous?
them. You will recognize them as edible. These could be a source of. They are not only edible. They have an effect where, because we've talked about your ninpo, your ninja art in the end story. They have an effect that also, if you were to keep some, they could be used for one of your pockets, one of your solutions.
How many can be harvested at the moment?
There's a nice little ring around the tree. There's like 12 of them. And they're pretty big size mushrooms. They're like pretty big size Mario mushrooms, pretty much.
Okay, I am going to harvest those and put half in one of my pockets and keep the other half to give to Nanamo at some point.
Okay.
Because he's the
You
cook.
can add 6. We'll just call them big mushrooms. 6 big mushrooms in one pocket, and then Nanamo, you could either add them now, or Hikari, you could just list like in parentheses like 4 Nanamo or 4 cooking, 4 for eating.
Do that, I might die.
And then after that, you can think up some kind of way in which Hikari could use one of her skills or affinities or abilities to make the travel just better in general. And like I said, if you guys like any suggestions, I have some for you. Or you could roll intelligence to see if you could access some of the high tier plans I have that could probably make it really easy for you.
I can't think of anything specific, so I am going to roll intelligence.
Okay.
And for this intelligence, do I use the I'm just trying to think of the word. Do I use the big number or the little number in the oval?
On your sheet, there should be a separated like area that's just showing the specific like pluses you have to certain roles.
Yes, so
so you should be able to look there.
Not in the oval.
Okay.
The number
So
in the
I
oval.
just rolled a 6.
Oh dear.
That's not bad. I don't think this is that high tier plan. Hikari, with a 6, something you think of, you don't know if it would work exactly, but you could ask Ava. And also the mushrooms you just got could work well for this, and also the fact that one of your poisons is meant to be a kind of a muscle relaxer. Something you could do is kind of experiment with the intensity of it and make a salve or like an ointment that you guys could use to soothe your sore muscles after you've done all this jumping. Because while it is fun, you guys are still very new at it. So that would be affecting the beginning realistically, is just the fact that you're really working your quads and like all your legs out. This is high tier squatting, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you guys could kind of collaborate with that and do a help actioned what do we call that? Medicine check? Yeah, medicine check. And that would make, that you can make that ointment. Or you could, if you really wanted to, just keep on the lookout for more like forageable food or something like that. Any game you might want to catch. I've given you multiple plans at this point. But yeah, there's stuff Hikari could do.
Hikari's going to keep an eye out for any more food or materials that she or her teammates can use.
Okay, you can just roll a survival for that.
Okay, one moment. Decent. I got a 16.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. That's a lot better than my
bad.
previous rolls.
Hikari, you, through the course of foraging, just pointing stuff out, you honestly find enough like food on the road that the team should be satiated, like food-wise. At least, like this first week of journeying, you guys had rations and stuff like that, and you ate them a little bit. After like that 4th or 5th day, you stop, just because at some point, Hikari sees a herd of deer. Hikari sees a few more mushrooms, and you guys just eat those. You just roast those. A nice stream with some fish in it. Like you're good. you guys live off the land for the entirety of your journey, and a benefit of that is there's less of a like evidence of your presence, just because you are just working through nature pretty much. You're not leaving any behind any like rappers that might have been on rations or anything like that. Though if you did, you would still be reprimanded about that from Shini Sensei. No littering.
Oh yeah.
Littering leads to death.
Yeah.
Of the
And
planet,
enemies
I
to
suppose.
An enemy ninja finding you, which also leads to death.
Is it okay if Ava does something if it's not so much about scouting, but more about trying to make the trip more efficient?
Yeah, it can be anything that makes the trip better in any way, pretty much.
Cool.
I want you to be able to use your full creativity for this.
Sure. If possible, would Ava do a chakra control check to basically put, chakra into her feet and her leg muscles as she jumps for higher, longer jumps, and then back into her feet to soften the landing. So basically more effective travel and less wear and tear from each movement to maybe be able to go longer each day. Maybe cut down a day or two of the actual travel time.
I would allow that because what it's supposed to be is not something that's just affecting you, but the entirety of the party. The entirety of who is traveling with you as well. So if we ever do this and you guys have like a client or something like that, you guys are traveling slower. It will depend on that as well. I'll give you another plan for free. This will be the last free plan, hopefully. If Ava did it in a way that was her kind of bossy, barky self, and she was kind of reprimanding the team and saying like, Nanamo, your chakra control is so sloppy and yada yada, or like, hey Kari, stop being so
Stop looking at every
stop
freaking
pussyfooting so much about it and just like put the chakra in your foot and burst off. And if she was like doing that, so Sheeny doesn't have to kind of, Sheeny understands he's not very popular with Hikari, so I don't think he's too into like making you guys dislike him anymore. Ava already hates him as well, and I feel like him and Nanamo have moments where it's like we're on the same page, but at the exact same time, Nanamo also probably has some hate for him. You guys all hating him a little bit makes the most sense it could. So.
Oh yeah, Ava would definitely be yelling because she doesn't want to dash ahead like Nanamo, because though she hates to use the phrase, that could lead to death.
She would lead to death.
She wants very powerfully killing power Bona Sensei by her side. And if that means she's got to, drag these other two laggards with her, fine, so be it. She'll teach them how to do it, and she'll give them a look that says, I'm showing you once, don't slow me down, don't fuck it up, I'm not telling you how to do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
It would make a great Jonin Sensei. She probably then mutters under her breath, I would make a great Jonin Sensei.
Well, we'd
There's no
see.
fucking bonus Sensei. Also, mate Rio.
At some point, you'll have to break yourself with this habit. This doesn't seem like it's good for your coffers.
It's not. I'm also marking down how much I lost.
I'm gonna roll a. I would have to reskin some of these. No, we won't do because I'd have to reskin so many of them. You guys have just finished the first week of travel, so within that time, you probably have bedded down a few times. If you would like to do anything in a bit of downtime between travel, and then your next set of travel checks, we can go for the second week of travel, and that will get you guys into Bamboo Village.
One question, if you don't mind me asking.
Go for it.
Would Sheeny have us taking watches at night?
Yeah, no, you guys can have some D&D. That's what I'm saying. You guys can have some D&D campfire scenes.
Campfire scene.
Okay.
In that case,
So
Ava will always insist on first watch.
Okay. So yeah,
We're pretty adamant on
this.
Point.
You have ended the first week of travel. You've actually, because the average of the team, so 2/3 of the team did really well on those travel checks. You've gone further in this first week than you probably expected. You're a little over halfway to the land of hot water, so you might be able to make it there in a little under 2 weeks, depending on what happens between now and. So now you've decided to bed down and make camp. You scattered around enough that you feel like you can use a small little clearing you found. It's time for a D&D campfire scene. Sheeny makes a little like fire pit with a few bones, like kind of like framing it, and then let you guys help him gather some wood, and then he kind of uses a little fire chakra to just start it, and your campfire's going. So he's now standing around, actually journaling in a big book that is also made out of bone for some reason.
Maybe freaking book.
Well,
Right.
not all of us can afford to.
Black.
What do you mean? How does it work? It's chakra. It's ninja arts. He's just kind of focusing on it, whatever he's
Whatever he's writing.
whatever he's writing in there. You can like investigate over his shoulder, just like try and see.
No way is Hikari taking that risk.
Nah,
I'll
Ava's
do
not
it.
dumb enough to do that either.
I'm
Probably
dumb enough.
encourages Nanamo. It's like, yes, Nanamo. Good. That's a great idea, buddy. Just turn
And
to Ava. Just
Ava-
turn to
And
Hikari.
Hikari is going, Ava, no! Oh, don't!
I try and do it
It'll be-
stealthily.
Not
It'll
Nanamo,
be quicker if
don't
he
do it.
dies.
Yeah, you could try and stealth it.
Okay, I'll roll stealth first. I'm actually decent at that. That is 15.
Nanamo, you creep up behind Sheeny Sensei's shoulder, and he gives no reaction. He just kind of continues to write. Are you gonna look
I'm
a
gonna
little closer to see what he's writing?
Yes, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna learn.
And
Um,
Hikari is covering her eyes because she can't watch this.
I think
Ava's
I'm
just
getting-
smart.
You're close enough. You did the sneak roll.
Oh, okay. Damn it, that would have been so much better.
Oh, what were you about to do?
I was just gonna roll investigation, and I dropped
Okay,
the dice.
you can roll investigation. You can roll investigation. If you like.
That's 19.
Oh yeah, you can see really well. It looks like equally like some of the like writings or like what you know of would be like mission reporting you've seen in some books before, but it just as much looks like really sappy ass poetry. That you've seen like your mom maybe having like some like kind of junky books that she would like not let you look into very, very far for.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I've seen it, I feel like I've got away with it. I will pull away, and I'll just
Hey,
go.
Hey, before you go, he's gonna like reach behind him and grab your collar and pull you back and whisper, "Tell anyone you're dead." And he's gonna let you go.
Oh, that's hilarious because you know what Ava's first movement is going to be as soon as he's.
Yeah, is
back in
asking
trouble.
what you've been. So you've just been sworn.
Yeah, it's like. So, what's in the fucking book?
You watch Nanamo's eyes wander back to Sensei. There was
Nanamo.
nothing in it. I think he was using some sort of chakra infused ink. You need something. I don't know. What? I just kind of walk away. I couldn't see anything.
Okay, in that case, do I buy that? Because I mean, that does sound plausible.
That sounds like a
but-
deception check.
You can roll deception and you can roll insight.
Okay, let's
Cool.
do it.
Roll deception with disadvantage.
Look, there's good odds.
Do you want to play scared? Because I didn't say you were frightened. I didn't say you got the frightened condition by them.
He just got grabbed by the throat. He's a bit startled. So
No,
he's just-
not by the throat. He like just kind of like lightly grabbed, like he didn't really jack you. He just kind of like grabbed the collar of your shirt, just kind of pulled you back, and just like,
He
hey, by
knows
the
what
way.
he can do. He's a bit
Yeah,
frightened.
yeah, you're aware.
I'm aware of
Yeah.
what he's capable of. I'm a man enough to walk away.
Ava's insight got a 13, just as an FYI.
I got
Okay,
a 9, so I'm lying through my teeth.
Yeah, you're lying through your teeth,
Cool. Cool.
which is
cool.
understandable because like damn, Sensei.
In
It's
that
the one
case,
person I couldn't fail on.
yep. In that case, Ava's going to follow Nanamo, and using my ability to give, as a reaction, to give one creature per rest proficiency on something they're not proficient with, I'm going to give myself proficiency on intimidation as I just lean in real close and say, he's not gonna hurt you. You're his paycheck. Me? I'll hurt you if you don't tell me what I want to know, Nanamo.
You're all equally
So?
disposable.
What's in the book? Can I roll an intimidation check for that?
Go for it.
Thank you.
Oh no.
Crit
Nat
win.
20.
Nat
Oh my
20.
god.
So that would make for a
Oh,
total...
poor Nanamo.
27.
Nanamo, this should be a charisma saving throw. I believe.
You're not gonna pass, but you know, natural 20s are possible.
If it was a fellow crit, if it was a co-crit, you guys would kind of just like do the like anime rival like stare down thing where Nanamo would be like, Ava, drop it, and then she'd be like, no, and you just had the little like electricity going through your eyes. So yeah, you can go ahead and roll.
Go on.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, yeah.
no.
Ava expects to do what I just said, and then you completely back down and whisper, "It was really bad poetry."
It's really bad poetry.
Yeah, you.
I've read better stuff in the books my mum reads.
In fact, honestly, yeah, you get. Buster, I'm gonna say you get like way too jubilant about it. Like you want to make fun of Sensei, like you want to bond with Ava over this. Now you want to like grab her over the shoulder and be like, listen, this was dog shit. This was horrible. Oh my god. I have never seen a more cringe piece of like string of words in my life. Ava, like that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be like the most gossipy little brat right now.
Yeah. Ava's here for it because gossip is a form of information which is incredibly profitable. So
Yeah, I can almost
gonna-
see like the image of
And
you two. Like, I can
Hikari
see
is
Ava
just
doing a
watching
little like
them whisper to each other,
Mhm.
going,
Mhm.
"I probably should interfere, but I get the but
You know what,
we were so
Hikari-
happy,
Hikari-
and I don't want to stop them from bonding."
Hikari. I need you to roll me a charisma save to see if you can resist the curiosity.
Okay,
Join us.
Are you actually doing that?
I just rolled an 8.
You can't. You have to know.
Ah.
Join us.
You didn't want to peek over Sensei's shoulder, but like hearing about it or like just whatever they're like sniggling and giggling about behind Sensei's back, it's too. You have to know.
Honestly, guys, this was some of the worst poetry ever. It all had to do with bones and shadows and something about strength and time. It's so weird.
Yes. Ava would like to do her best impression of
That
Shini.
doesn't say-
Strength
That's
grows
very
with
nice.
time.
That's what it says.
I thought so. He's always fucking saying that. What does it mean?
Well,
It's just all in that book.
He's a
well,
shitty poet.
Strength does grow with time. I mean, you have to put in the time and effort in order to get stronger, don't you?
I suppose if you don't have
Why is he
talent.
writing poetry?
Good point. Why is he writing fucking poetry?
Sheeny's still just kind of there,
Maybe
kind
he
of
just
focusing.
likes poetry? I mean, sure he's mean, but everyone's gotta have a hobby.
I guess, but hey, no, get this. Poetic talent doesn't grow with time.
You guys can do a group perception roll. All three of you can roll, and I will take the average to see. And what I want you to roll for basically is to see how much Sheeny is enjoying the act of writing his poetry.
Okay, that's not...
I just rolled a 23.
Ooh, I got an 11.
That a crit for
I'm
you?
very
That a
glad
crit for
you
you?
covered me.
No,
Is that a crit for you,
I
Hikari?
got a 19, and my perception is 4.
Ooh.
Okay, 11 from me, so I'm very glad that Hikari did well.
Bomb. Natural 1.
Again?
Ooh.
Nanamo, you
These
are
dice
not
are going
doing great
prison.
today, are you?
Swapping dice.
23 plus.
Swapping dice. They've betrayed me.
1 plus. What was yours, Ava?
11.
Divided by 3. That's a 12 average. And because of what was rolled, Hikari, you start to feel a little bad because you can tell by the look on Sensei's face. Like you spent enough time like that. He's enjoying that. Like if he's bad at it or not, like who cares? Like he's enjoying that. That's rude of you guys. That's how you feel. Ava and Nanamo, you look and you are now struggling not to laugh because of how like focused he is on it and how like poorly it's coming out. Like he's not even like usually when he's like ignoring you guys, it seems like he's doing it purposely. It seems like he's actually just engrossed in it.
I'm like Nanamo's crying with laughter. Like so he just can't even see Sensei through his own tears. He's just in absolute shambles. Hence the one.
Ava's doing more mean impressions of Sheeny, just trying to think of the worst poetry she can about bones, you know. I gave my love a bone. It had no marrow. My skin is very sallow.
And watching this, and because Hikari is feeling so bad, and she immediately goes mother mode and grabs both of their ears. That's enough.
What the fuck, Hikari?
Oh, Hikari, what the hell?
You two are being very mean right now. Hell,
Yeah, you said I'm the mean
of
one.
that anymore. Understand?
My fucking ear.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that an intimidation check?
Or persuasion, because she's being a mother right now.
Yeah, you can roll.
One sec.
I'm folding into it. I'm not touching her dice as much as possible.
That is a 11 for persuasion.
Roll with disadvantage because the way I'm going to work, your teammates are already a little intimidated by you taking charge in this way.
Okay, what are we rolling specifically? Like,
No, I was saying Rune can roll her persuasion with advantage, and then you guys can roll.
What's advantage? What does the advantage do then?
Advantage is just you roll twice and take the higher number.
Oh, okay. The 7 was the higher. I then rolled a 6.
Okay. You guys. I mean, it's up to you. Like, this is your players. You're not NPCs. Is a 6 convincing enough from Hikari, like pulling your ear, or do you want to persist over the joke of Sensei Shini's Nanamo gives in?
Technically, it was an 11 because of the persuasion.
Excuse me, that's right. You had an 11. Yeah. So is it? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Ava's just going to glare at Hikari and say, "You're not my mom. Don't tell me what to do." All laughing has faded.
Back to the regularly scheduled programming, I suppose.
Hikari, your perception was high enough that I'm going to say you notice a single leaf falls from a tree you guys are under, and you're the only person to glance up. And when you do, you see one of Sensei's black skeletons in the tree looking at you guys. Well, no. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a skeleton or it's the Dead Poet Society hand, actually.
Aw. So yeah, he heard everything.
Yeah, the hand is actually like as it sees you, it's gonna twitch a little bit and then disappear into the shadows. And then if you look at Sheeny, it's on his shoulder now and it's doing the little like telephone thing. And then Sheeny's just gonna look. Sheeny's just gonna kind of like look over his shoulder at you guys, and you see like a little bit of disappointment and hurt in his eyes. He's gonna say, "Ava, take a lap."
Fine. Ava's gonna just start jogging.
Nanamo, take 10 times the lap that Ava does.
At least Ava stuck to her convictions.
And Hikari is just standing there waiting for her punishment, looking chastised.
Hikari, come here.
Slowly walks over, looking like a kicked puppy.
I'd like to see one of those stin bone you've been making.
What?
I'd like to see one of those stin bone you've been making.
Okay. Pulls it out of one of her pockets.
Okay, in my head, how this looks is you have like a pretty like neatly tied like bundle of little like they're almost toothpicks, but they're like bigger basically.
Yeah,
you just kind of
large toothpicks.
Yeah, and the way I would probably deal these is they would do, however, a regular Sinbone. I think a regular Sinbone is supposed to be like 2d4 or something like that. So I would probably do, these are 1d4, but you can use multi attacks with these, and then per the grade of what you use to carve a Sinbone with, I would let you increase the damage die, but you can take away the multi attack basically. So if Hikari were to basically just spend enough time making wooden Sinbone, she could just have her sleeves full of them basically, and do the Sasuke Itachi like Shuriken War thing just with Sinbone, wooden Sinbone. Shini's actually pretty impressed with these. These are pretty well made. You ever thought about selling these?
No, I haven't.
Well, if you're good enough to make them with wood, you could probably use some different materials. And yeah, you guys don't have a general shinobi store in the village yet. So, I mean, as it's quote unquote premier shinobi, that might be something you guys want to think about.
Ava's probably most unhappy that she's not hearing about a money-making opportunity.
I mean, Ava, you can, I assume, you guys are, running the clearing, and then Nanamo is just, passing you, he's probably going to run 10 times. Yeah, he's going to run 10 laps to every, one you do.
I was actually going to purposely go slow following Ava on the first lap, because I wanted to speak to her, but you guys finish your conversation, and then...
Yes, that's something I would like you to think about, Ava, or Hikari. In fact, if you would humor me, very quickly, I'm going to don't get scared. I'm going to produce a bone, and what I want you to do is try and make some Sinbone out of the bone. Bone Sinbone. That's a joke.
Poetry.
He looks mildly happy that Bone Sinbone got a small chuckle. So he's gonna kind of reach behind his back, and then he's gonna pull out kind of a conkly large femur bone, and he's gonna hand it to you, and he's just it's just a crafting material basically, and or a club if you want to use it as a club.
Okay, neat.
Yeah, so you could do the roll whenever you want to, but yeah, that's just something you could do a crafting roll on, and that'll be a way we can explore that ability through Hikari. But yeah,
but Hikari
both. Go ahead.
Takes it with a little trepidation because it's a freaking bone, but does take it fair. And says, "Thank you."
Thank you. I'm interested to see how this works. So, and if it does well, it's something that can help the village and any shinobi that will find you guys.
And with that, the conversation is over, so Hikari wanders up a little to start examining the bone to see where the best places to start the carving would be.
Okay, yeah. I imagine you're probably so relieved you don't have a punishment that's a fair enough trade-off. You don't really mind that you have to work with this creepy-ass bone.
Yep.
Nanamo and Ava, I feel like you guys could have heard that entire interaction, especially if Nanamo was kind of jogging behind Ava. So you guys have the floor now.
Cool.
Ava, wait up! As I kind of just...
What?
I've been thinking about it this last week. We'll be saying this as we try and finish the first lap. When we get to the mission, Sensei said there's someone who needs to fight, someone who needs to cook, and someone who needs to clean.
Mm-hmm.
What role are you wanting to do?
Oh, actually, funny you mention that. I've been thinking about that too, and I had an idea, which is technically we should all fight because we have different skills. I think instead of one of us signing up as the fighter, we should create a fake fighter. Maybe, the masked poet, she says with a bit of a side-eye to Sheeny.
You get a laugh out of me.
And then, depending on who we're facing, we just transform into that nebulous fighter. And whoever was the last fighter transforms into whoever's missing.
Does that make
sense?
That's not a terrible idea. I was going to suggest. I mean, I was going to suggest something much stupider, but that works perfectly. I was already planning on suggesting we all take a transformation when we arrived. Especially if it's someone who used to work for Ghetto. He might be able to recognise some of us, and it's just not a risk we can take. But if that sounds like a good plan, as long as you and Hikari are alright going into a fight, because I know your guys' roles at this point, I imagine, in this squad.
Assume.
Yeah, you guys have done enough. You've had some like spars against like Sensei's clones and stuff like that between now and then, to where you've been able to like re-coordinate how you tried it the first time. So you know each other's roles.
I would just say, thinking about it, I was going to volunteer myself, because you, being the medic, probably shouldn't be in harm's way and will be best able to help us outside of combat. And Hikari, well, Hikari is an intel operative. I'm the most combat orientated of us, so I was just going to try and lend my help in a different way and lead you guys to keep your energy replenished and high.
It's probably smart if you're our main fighter, but I still think it's a good idea if we create a system where we can swap out. Just in case, for example, I'm just going to put this bluntly. Big surprise, Ava's putting something bluntly. Yes. You find like a friggin' mayfly. Pew, 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 pew. Tired.
Hey!
I have the ability to replenish myself. I can go for longer. So if we're going to fight someone who needs a war of attrition rather than a mayfly, I should go in. If it's going to be Speedy Zipster, all yours, buddy, get your teeth kicked in. I don't care.
Right, this is why I was planning on having this conversation with Hikari. But, we were just laughing. I thought we could have a normal conversation. No, it just turns out you're still stone cold.
Unfortunately, Ava's actually more pissed after something he said. Something particularly he said during the conversation actively shat her.
Nanamo, Ava, come here.
Yeah?
Alright, you guys... He's actually gonna kind of eye Nanamo a little bit more and be like, by the way, you still owe me some laps. Anyway, I overheard the... what was that? Mass poet plan?
Yes, Ava's gonna just be completely unabashed about that. She's not gonna apologize. She's not gonna look for forgiveness. She's gonna meet your eyes. Yep.
I don't think either are bad ideas. However, it might be a bit hard to get everybody into the infiltration if we don't all use the open roles. Well, there's that guard role, the fighter role, cook, and cleaner. Which might mean if we do it that way, Nanamo might have to just kind of sneak around the entire time.
Yeah, my thinking was we'd trade off. So, for example, if I had to fight, Nanamo would transform into me and take my role in, say, the kitchen, so there's never a person missing.
Hey,
you can do the transformation jutsu, right, Nanamo?
You'd have a free man. Yeah, you guys all learn transformation in Cologne.
Oh, no, that was meant as an insult.
Sensei taught us.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I look at you with eyes narrowing. I could do it before Sensei taught us.
Bravo, so
you could. I didn't have that listed. Okay. Guess we should have amended your thing.
I didn't.
Well done, so could I. What's your point?
What I'm saying is, you don't need to look down on me because you think I'm some sort of idiot.
Nanamo, if I coated my explosive tag in chocolate, you'd eat it. You are an idiot.
You two always being at each other's throats leads to death.
Ava's not going to say anything to that. She doesn't have a witty retort. She's just going to give him the
there is no
face.
witty retort to that shit. That's just true. You'll die if you keep this shit up at some point.
Nanamo looks at Sensei. Can I finish my laps now?
Go ahead, kid.
And I just, at a speed, kind of a surge of speed, showing I was very much going slower next to you, Ava, I just away.
Ava's just going to glower and be like, fucking idiot doesn't know anything, does he? He's going to storm away. In case you're wondering, the thing that pissed her off was referencing working for Gato. Just an FYI.
I said you worked for him. I said we all knew him. I lived there.
I worked for him.
It's your own choice. Don't get pissy with me.
Damn, hold up. That is some straight up. That is straight up Nanimo privilege. Like, oh shit.
Exactly. It's like
Yes.
I was a homeless orphan who had to work effectively slave wages for the man who murdered my parents. And you're talking about my choice?
Oof.
I'm gone. I'm fucking eons off, man.
That shit.
Fucking Ava's gonna try and chase him. He can't keep up, but
Okay.
he's gonna try.
Ooh,
Ava,
boy.
roll me a dex check.
Yay. Okay. Not great. Yeah, 9.
Nanimo, you can roll against it.
Okay, sweet.
At 1.
I don't think you will need advantage on it.
No, I don't think I need it either, but 23, not a natural 20.
Jesus.
Ava, you try to intercept him, and the moment you do, Nanimo, you get cheeky. You get like, I'll show
I
you.
slow down just to give her a second of hope, and then I
Bolt.
bolt it.
Yeah, I'm damn near like tempted to give you a new ability through that roll. Yeah, you kind of just juke her out. You kind of like she takes a position, like she goes like a hard line at you, like she's trying to like tackle you, and you wait, and then the moment she thinks like I got him, you just like you do the blue lock run where you run around, and then you're in her blind spot, and then you're running again.
I imagine Ava put her full body into leaping and is now in the dirt. You privileged motherfucker, I know where you sleep.
I know where you sleep.
Jesus.
Hikari looks up at their shout, holding and thinks to herself, dude, what am I missing here? What's happened?
I don't
Harry
know.
wouldn't know.
If we're being honest, I think I have very little control of this team as the Jonin Sensei. It's almost like you guys are in control of the entirety of. Anyway, we are about an hour in, and what I want to do is this time to get us to the last. I'm sorry, I don't want to take you guys out of your D&D campfire scene. Since that is what this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be like you're all sitting down and Ava takes first watch, and I suppose like her and Shini Sensei like have it like that, but no, it's just been a lot of Ava and Nanimo hate each other.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
We came so close to having a moment together.
I know. I try.
I know where you sleep.
And Hikari just either having to deal with them or being completely out of the loop in what's going on with them.
Oh my Kami. Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to do in your quote unquote campfire moment? Or are you ready to get back on the road?
I think I'm good. I've said all I had to say.
Okay. The team Zero had a very eventful, full of quote unquote merriment, disagreements, campfire like chases. Ava and Nanimo nearly got into a spar that devolved from a spar very quickly after they wouldn't give each other the shinobi like friendship sign.
Oh yeah, we're never doing that.
Yeah, Sheeny keeps trying to get you guys to do it. Like it's gotten to the point that he is now just putting Dead Poet Society on you guys' hands and making it like force your hand into it before you start the spar.
Ava will be trying vigorously to flip off both Dead Poet Society and Nanimo whenever that happens.
I'm so glad Dead Poet Society is already just. We might just have to call it
DP?
DP.
We'll do DPS.
That's true. It is.
We'll do DPS. If you want to acronym it, I'm glad Dead Poet Society has been.
Isn't that already
Being
an
happily.
acronym? Just a sec.
You damage per second.
Oh, that's where I've heard it from. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it. DP. That is why I very
Abbreviation
quickly
for
said. That's why I very quickly said. We're gonna do DPS.
Yes.
In a way, DP is also DPS, so we're good. All right.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Listen. Okay. So this last travel check we're gonna use the ones that I have come up with. So.
Okay.
Hikari, you're making the muscle relaxer. Ava, you are going to.
Can I actually be the one making it? Because I think I'm probably.
That's true.
physically
Hikari,
fit.
you are gathering materials for the muscle relaxer. Ava, you could either make the muscle. You could spend your roll making the muscle relaxer, or you can spend your roll taking kind of stock of your supplies and storage efforts. Because you just heard Sheeny make the the little sin bone, like the bone sin bone, like the sin bone request. You guys could maybe petition to start a general shinobi store or something like that. I feel like Ava's ears would have really pricked at that.
Oh yeah,
that
exactly. The words store. Yeah.
Yeah, that entire concept, I feel like, would have pricked her ears. So I feel like at this point, you might be taking kind of a little like stock and saying like, okay, we have this, and this. I remember in the DMs we have through our server, you guys talked about a concept that was brought up of a party fund. So this could be a point where Ava maybe spends her role advocating for that or something like that. Or you could spend your role just kind of explaining how you decide to manage or something like that. So, I mean, there's things you could do.
I will make the pitch for the party.
Excuse me. Okay. And Nanamo,
Yes.
You are also gathering supplies and scouting further. And it's you're doing it as efficiently as possible with your speed. In fact, that little situation with Ava where you juked her out, that kind of gave you a lot of your confidence back. And now you're challenging Shini Sensei to a race to see if, like, who can scout, a perimeter around our camps, faster and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
would that be a persuasion for Ava?
yeah, I want a survival from Hikari, a persuasion from Ava, Dex from Nanamo.
Well, 22 persuasion.
Ooh.
I got a 12 survival.
Ooh.
I got a 13 dexterity.
Okay. These are all above 10, with Ava being an outlier. Who would like to RP the events of their rolls first?
Okay, I probably will. Okay, listen up, both of you. Where we're going, we're going to need money. And I believe the best course of action is if we were to put it in one place, under the guidance of someone who actually knows how to manage money, not you, Hikari. I worked for Gato, as some of you may have forgotten. Dead fucking glare at Nanamo. So...
Nanamo doesn't respond, he's just looking.
I know how to manage that. I know how to capitalize on money and make it work for us. So, in the best interests of the party, give me your money. I'll keep it separate. Don't worry, I won't just tip it all into my bag. I'm greedy, but I'm not a liar. You should know that by now. Just give it to me, I'll manage it. And I'll make it the most beneficial for us as a collective. Because as much as I hate the concept of collective bargaining, it's kind of something we need right now.
So you're advocating for a party fund? Or a Team Zero, banker fund or something like that?
Yes. The Bank of Ava Rice.
No.
Sole client.
No.
Teams...
It would be we're not calling it the Bank of... No, we're not doing that. That seems like that could very quickly lead to death.
Why are we giving you all the money?
Because I know how to manage money.
Overall, it doesn't sound like a
bitch.
bad idea, but what do you mean Hikari can't do it? Hikari can, man. Hikari's runs a household.
Hikari's fine. She's adequate. No. Decent, I'd even say. She kept those brats from starving for God knows how long. Nanamo
Call them brats.
is a moron. And a moron and his money are soon parted, so it might as well be parted to me, where I can at least use it for something worth something.
What will you use it for?
Whatever we need to not die. Isn't that obvious? You may not know this. I like money. Money is good. But do you know when money has no value? Yes, really. But you know when money has no value? When you're dead. So, I'm willing to spend money.
Money also has no money.
Dead.
Money also has no value in combat.
Abe would like to flick a fake Rio into a tree. And just give him the raised eyebrows again.
Didn't you tell me those weren't even real? I thought those are counterfeit.
What?
They are. But they're still money.
Where did you get counterfeit coins?
I made them.
You made
what?
them?
Yes, I know how to counterfeit.
12-year-old had a counterfeit?
It's illegal,
No.
isn't it?
And
I believe it
Gato.
was Gato. Yeah, I
was
thought it was
Gato.
Gato.
Yeah.
Ma-
I did
makes sense
any
it was
job that
Gato.
needed to be done while working for Gato, and that sometimes meant printing the fake money.
Hikari just glares into space with this look that says he is so lucky he's already dead.
I mean, he's already dead. Nanamo.
Yeah.
Sensei rolls a 18 plus.
Never beating this.
No, you're not beating this, sadly. An 18 plus 5. He has a 23. He has the exact same roll Ava got on Persuasion. You guys go to do some scouting, but everywhere you go to like scout out, there's already a black ghost, like a black skeleton there. And like every time you get there, you realize something that like a little quirk they have is they very often like repeat things that either Sheeny has said or that they have heard. So like you keep running into them and they're saying like stuff that you were making fun of Sheeny for with the poetry.
Oh,
Bastard.
just rubbing it in his face.
Yeah.
There is like a
And-
look of guilt in Nanamo's
Yeah,
eyes.
That keeps happening. Like every time you get back, like you don't have to tell Sheeny Sensei. That's how you learn that the clone's gonna apparently like hear and see what he hears and sees, and like when they disperse, he gets that information back. And that it probably also tips you off to like, okay, that time we were doing the bone test, and he had like us surrounded by 12 black ghosts. That probably wasn't to like actually keep us. That was probably just to watch us. Fair enough. So yeah, that's how that goes for you. But in the case of that, you are technically helping Sheeny Sensei with the scouting. So again, you guys have avoided any kind of encounters for now because you know exactly what is around you at all times, pretty much. And Hikari, you, what did I say you were doing? I think you were just you were getting the
Lies.
you were gathering supplies and making the. Because I think Ava can, or not Ava, I believe Hikari can still do the ointment thing. Even if it's just, she's asking Hikari, like, or Ava, how she would go about doing it with her medical knowledge.
Ava would
so you-
definitely help. You know, in
Yeah,
terms
and
of-
she helped. So even with that, I'm going to lower the DC on the check to a 10. So yeah, she clears it. You have made a little ointment that soothes aches and pains. In fact, honestly, add soothing ointment 1d4 plus 4 to your inventory. And if you use it as an actual healing item, it will consume it. If you use it as just like an RP item, it won't take all of it. 1d4 plus 4. Is that a regular potion?
Yeah.
one
Or is it 2d4?
2d4 plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
four.
Okay.
So it's a little bit worse, which is
It's a little bit weaker, but I think that works because she literally made it from scratch.
Yeah.
She made it from scratch from a poison.
True, and she's not a medic.
Yeah. And in the case where like somebody is on the ground, that could be life-saving. So, so yeah, that works. You guys have made it to the land of hot water in pretty much record time, and we are still around that like hour and 10 minute into the first half of this session, to where we can like go ahead and take another short break like we did last time. That might be like 30 minutes to an hour or so, like that, so you guys can get out of your chairs and stretch a little bit. So would you guys like to know what you are seeing as you are landing into you are arriving into the land of hot water, and finding or trying to find a village literally hidden in band?
Sure.
yeah.
Okay,
But before we do, quick question.
hit me.
For the fund, do we take the money out of our character page is to put into the fund now? Or should we do that later?
The way I will rule this is that Ava will have responsibility for the party fund, and I mean that like in a very literal sense. So like if there are issues with it, consequences go to Ava.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. All of my money then.
Yeah, it'll be something she manages, and what I want it to work as basically is for us on the character sheets we have. or at least if you use some of the PDFs that the Naruto 5e community has so graciously made, they have a current HP and current chakra point, like health bar pretty much. Ava would now, for reasons we will get into later, have a third bar pretty much, and that is her party fund that she needs to keep track of. You guys can, I'll say after this session, work around the team fund. Hopefully you won't be spending any money in this next like little half of the session as we get you guys into the village proper.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I think we're good. So we arrive in the land of hot water and the village in the bamboo.
Yeah, you guys you're in the land of hot water. Not proper now because you're at like pretty much the like most southern point of it almost. Like you've crossed through the land of fire now. You've gone a pretty like decent distance in a very short amount of time. So you getting are probably pretty proud of yourselves, honestly. Even Shinny Sensei seems like he's a little surprised and impressed with how well you guys did, and how well you were able to use your skills to get through that small challenge. Because it is a pretty decent way, and that was also a big reason as to why the order of your missions was going to be taking you to the land of hot waters, and then you would circle around counter or clockwise and go to the land of whirlpools, and then again to the land of noodles, and then back to the land of waves. You guys did great.
Okay.
As you go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, Ava gets quiet when we actually enter the land, and it just takes up more westward side of the formation.
Yeah, you're getting in there pretty deep at this point. So as you're getting further into the land of hot water, you're seeing a lot more of the trees be replaced with bamboo, like really, really tall, thick shoots of bamboo. And for some of them, they actually are big enough they're still reacting like trees, where you guys can still do your ninja jumps through them. After a certain point, though, they're just way too tall and kind of densely packed for you to keep doing it, and you guys have to go on foot from there. But when you do that, you guys are going to soon find yourselves coming into what basically seems like just this wall of densely packed bamboo, as if somebody like purposely had the bamboo grow as closely as possible. So it almost has that like wall that Konoha has. And that is leading to this really big clearing, where there is a pretty spacious, pretty big village. Like it's not too much bigger than the land of waves. It's not too much bigger than the village in the waves. And this is Bamboo Village. There's many a bustling business here. There's a bunch of hot springs. There's a bunch of competing hot springs. There's a bunch of tea shops, restaurants, stalls, carts, and they're all advertising. They have famous dishes that are boiled in the special hot water only found here. Many of which are chains and franchises that could be found all over the country, and some are even international chains and restaurants and businesses and stuff like that. There's a temple, which it appears pretty well kept. Like it appears like it gets donations probably, that are pretty sizable. The most striking thing, however, is a grand looking building that you're kind of a little shocked that you didn't originally see it through the bamboo thicket, because it's like the biggest building of the grove. It's pretty tall. It's a big tower. And it is denoted with the sign Perroco, like Perro Company. And Shinny Sensei is going to go ahead and point out to you guys that's where the underground fighting arena is. And that's going to be a shock, because from like what you can see, it's mostly just a bunch of stuffy looking like guys in business suits and robes coming in and out of it, and just regular employees pretty much.
Well then, might as well start making tracks towards it. Ever since she takes off.
Whoa. Sheeny is gonna kind of put a hand on your shoulder, and he's gonna remind you. First off, we've got two major objectives when we first get here. Number one, we need to establish some kind of safe house, and number two, we have to find the client.
All right then.
Yeah, we don't want
still gonna take off her headband because it's a bad.
Fair enough. Yeah, you guys can go ahead. And Sheeny wears his on his arm under his cloak, so you actually usually can't.
I am gonna do the same. I'm like just taking it off and putting it in my kunai pouch, just out of
He's like,
eyesight.
Ava's
Hikari takes off of hers and puts it around her neck before her putting the metal part under her jacket.
Oh, that's so smart. I was thinking another thing Hikari could probably do is if
way
she, I'm
that
sorry.
looks almost it looks like something that is muscle memory almost.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. I was thinking Hikari might have like a special pocket like in the jacket so she can just kind of fold it up very neatly and then slide it in and it'll be hidden. So if somebody like threw a kunai at her, it would like stop it.
Ava's probably gonna.
Not that that's gonna happen, by the way.
Yeah, no.
No, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, you guys tuck up. You tuck up your headbands. Nobody's really paying you guys that much mind. It's a pretty busy place. Like, one of the maps I looked at said Bamboo Village was on the south end of the Land of Hot Water. Another one I've just looked at says it's like a lot closer to the capital. We're gonna go with that's southern end. So this is just a different universe, I guess. So I mean, it's people coming to and from the capital of the Hot Water Village or the Land of Hot Water, and it's because like Perroco is one of the premier companies of the region.
So, what do we know about the person? She's very trying to avoid saying client for the same reason she's trying to avoid wearing a headband. It's better to use some subterfuge here. They're in enemy territory. Never know when Perro could be listening.
Well, you know, the client is about as well as we know as much about them as one would give information about themselves in this kind of mission report, or mission request. So not much. That's another reason why you have to go and contact the client, and why it is smart to contact the client before you infiltrate, because you don't want them to like have to peer through your disguise and figure out like who your loyalties are with.
Okay, so how are we supposed to do that?
It's up to you guys. So that's why another thing you should do is establish a safe house. You guys could split up. You guys could. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm giving you plans again.
That was also
Ava
lost in character. Ava was
Okay,
saying,
fair enough.
how are we supposed to do that? Like, it was very sarcastic. Yeah, thanks, you haven't really taught us how to do that.
I mean, this is basic shinobi stuff. You guys could look around. You guys could. We could go to maybe the main part of the village and look for any arrivals that might be coming by car or something like that. We could focus on establishing a safe house firsthand. So you guys could split up and do these tasks. I could do one while you guys do another.
Hikari looks like she's thinking before asking if the person they're supposed to be meeting has given them any indication of a location where we might be able to find them.
They did say there was one restaurant they didn't mind running if we arrived on this day.
Eyebrows up.
See it though.
Didn't think to mention that.
Well, it was more so I wanted to find them if we're going somewhere. It's still hostile territory, and they don't live here either, so a place they could think is a good spot could be a bad spot. I'd rather get my own eyes on it first.
If they don't live here, and they're our client, who are they affiliated with?
Not my job to know. At least not until I get my eyes on them.
Ava's gonna give Nanamo a glance like, that's actually a good question. I don't like not knowing that either.
She notices that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hikari also looks a little nervous at that. Then
Sheenie notices that the trepidation, and I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Hikari, go ahead.
I don't think it's a good idea here to meet with him in a place where he knows more than we do.
That's a good point.
Agreed.
Well, if that's the case, I could go ahead and try and find the client, and you guys could try and establish a safe house.
Yeah, that's probably good. It might also be a good idea if we split up, so we're not seen together by Perro's
But split.
people.
the issue with splitting up is if trouble was to come and Pero was to recognise you, for example, Ava, who has worked closely with him in the past, we're in trouble.
Hikari, he gives Nanama a light swat to his shoulder as a, you know that kind of swat that a parent usually does as a, hey, mind your manners thing? She does that to him.
No, the moron's right.
I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't get caught alone in a situation with someone whose name rhymes with something, is very close to something we don't want to be near.
Thank you for volunteering to be her bodyguard, Madam O.
No.
I'd much rather you kids. Hey, I'd much rather you kids stay together. And by the way, I get that this is scary, but this is also kind of what happens when you do C rank missions.
Scary. This is amazing.
All right.
Eva's just gonna cross her arms. She'd rather do this alone because, you know, she has the same thought that Nanamo did, which is, if anyone's gonna get spotted, it's her. If she's recognized with, you know, another newcomer, then if things go bad, you know, it's pretty easy to go, oh, the person you were walking with and eating lunch with, you know, let's kill them too. This is as close to selfless as she can be. But she's like,
Why don't you use the transformation jutsu you brag about knowing so well?
You're having an odd roll today, Nanamo. Did you hit your head?
No.
Either way,
All right.
Either way, she's gonna do it. She's
also
gonna...
uses up chakra there.
The way I'm gonna rule this is, I forget, there is a spell that, like, I believe it changes your form for around like 12 hours.
Disguise self. It's
we're gonna treat transformation like disguise self. So an hour in game, and I might even do it to where, like, the stronger you get, the less taxing it is. An hour in game. When an hour in game passes, only then will you actually have to take the mechanics of the actual transformation jutsu in Naruto 5e. So you'll deduct the amount of chakra you need at that point.
Okay, Ava's going to transform into a woman who looks a bit like her. She'll be like, okay, that'll do.
All right, Ava transforms.
Yeah, specifically, in case it's relevant to you, plus, she is transformed into her cousin Shizuko.
Aww. For a moment there, I thought she transformed into a mom.
I did as well. I felt guilty.
I considered that.
Okay.
I was going to make a mean comment, and then I thought she transformed into a mom.
All right, in that case, excuse me. Sheenie is going to go ahead and leave you guys to look for a place you think would be a safe, like, rendezvous point.
I foresee many persuasion check. No, not
Ava's just going
perception.
Ava's just going to look at both of you and say, this may sound odd, but I think our best course of action would actually just to be go to the main hotel or inn here. They're getting so many people in and out every day. They don't have time to snoop and to really scrutinize us. Not to mention, in the buzz of all the other people talking, that'll be effectively an audible smokescreen for us. And people will be too busy caught in their own affairs to really listen to us. So a crowded room is the best place to have any private conversations.
Ava,
Hikari looks surprised at that and just goes,
We're staying in a hotel? Like, an actual hotel?
I think we should. I think that's the best safe house we can. Blend in with all the other travelers coming and going.
Well, Hikari responded to that. So Ava and Hikari, or all three of you, can roll intelligence.
Just straight intelligence?
Just straight intelligence. I want to see if you guys are smart enough to realize something.
That's nice.
I just got a really shooty roll. I got a 5.
Hikari, you're too...
20.
Okay, Hikari,
Whoa.
you're too engrossed with the idea that you guys could sleep in a hotel after 2 weeks of travel on the road, to Like you're like right now you're too busy
She's
thinking like,
just
oh wow,
engrossed with
that's
the idea of sleeping in an actual full room with a bed. She's
yeah,
still
roll
not
the
used to
bed.
that.
She could probably go in the bathroom, or ask Shinsei Sini to give her Dead Poets Society so you can write a letter, go in the bathroom away from Ava, so you don't have to worry about her making fun of her or anything like that, and just talk on the phone pretty much like all night. It's pretty much what she like Hikari is currently thinking. Like, oh yeah, I'll send like the longest letter ever.
Yep.
Ava, with that unnatural 20, immediately a thought that comes to mind is, oh, but hotels cost money. And also, this place is like so close to like a major business conglomerate. This is probably like a very, the closest inn is probably like extremely expensive. And also, we'd have to worry about like eavesdropping.
Fair enough. Ava's logic was, if we're in a quiet place, that's where people can eavesdrop. If everyone is talking, they will cover us, so no one could eavesdrop, was her logic.
Yeah,
the money.
It's a thing where she'd be like, and then like if that been big, like Pero could have people in every business everywhere. So and we have to be very selective with where we go. Nanamo, did you roll intelligence?
I did. I got 10.
Okay. You're torn. Like that makes sense, and then you kind of want to hear what Sensei Shini would say about going to a hotel, and then you're also like, I mean, maybe we could just go back out and rough it, and then come back when we need to. Because you guys just made it well, and that probably feels a little more ninja like to you. Ava, I'm also going to say something you might be able to think of with your own natural 20 is, well, the tournament probably isn't going to be like a single day, and if the arena is under that massive tower, it's probably a pretty big complex, so they might have lodgings there.
Okay.
So in terms of like where you guys will be staying, your safe house should be a place that if something goes wrong and you guys have to split up or something like that or get separated, you can go there, regroup, plan your escape, and then get out.
All right. I just thought of something. If this is going to be a multi-day event, they've probably got that place for the competitors to sleep and the staff to sleep. So that can be where we lodge. This safe house that Shini's talking about is probably better to be more of a rendezvous point, so it doesn't need to actually be a place for us to rest. So honestly, were there any particularly distinct trees we saw in the last hour of our trip?
No, but between now and the last hour of your trip, it was all the massive bamboo shoots that you couldn't really do much with, unless you
no notable rocks
stuck
basically just something that I could say.
I mean, nothing more notable than any other rock that you probably would have passed, honestly.
Okay, then. Okay. How about?
Well, let me look at the map, because there might literally be something. Well, no, it might be something so far away that you probably couldn't make any use of it. So yeah, I would say. Would you like a hint?
Sure. Okay.
Because you got that 20 with in intelligence. Your best bet may be to just do a perception check to see what one of the either the busiest or one of the least busiest establishments that is big enough to house people here might be. So it might be a hot spring, it might be so one of the things that have been listed so far. You might want to look for one of those and just kind of go do a little investigation to see if it would be a good spot for if a bunch of ninja jumped in for a bit, probably nobody would see anything, and hopefully somebody might even be favorable to your cause, because you are here to sabotage Pero, who you guys know. I said his name a little weird again. Pero, who you guys know is a legitimate businessman on the surface, but underneath it, he's dirty.
Scum.
Unfortunately, that was a 9. So
that was a 9.
Yeah.
Was that your perception roll or your?
That was my perception roll. Was a 9.
Oof.
You could relay that idea to the party and have any of them do it, or if not,
how about we look? Okay, let's look for the most rundown shit place in town. They're probably getting strangled by him the worst, which means if we say we're here to fuck him up, they'll probably be the most amenable.
Ooh, I got an 18.
Hikari got an 18. Is Nanamo rolling perception?
I can. Let's do this. Oh, I rolled well.
Yay!
It's dirty 20. Oh,
Yay!
above 11.
Okay.
Last.
With your dirty 20,
Yes.
the two of you pretty immediately lock in on like what the most busy places are and what the most like rundown places are. After looking around, you're gonna find an establishment which, if you are knowledgeable enough, you would know it actually originates from the land of fire, not the land of hot water. So that could play a little bit as to why it's not doing too well. This place is called Yakiniku Q. This is a barbecue restaurant. And it just doesn't seem to be doing too great. Yeah, so you guys could go and go inside and investigate. I do want to know. I just checked the time on the recording. This is probably going to be a session with absolutely no combat or in like any major action. So hopefully we don't lose anybody with this. But yeah, you guys could now go and investigate the Yakiniku Q.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys pointing it out? Because I assume Ava didn't
Yep.
even see it.
Okay, you're approaching it. Yeah,
All
you're
right.
walking into the Yakiniku Q.
Looks pretty bad.
It's
Okay.
barbecue. It's gross.
You guys going in?
Barbecue
Yeah,
is
barbecue.
great.
Nanamo thinks this. He grew up with ramen. He has strong opinions.
You guys walking inside?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Ava will probably be in the back because she's having it pointed out to her.
Okay.
But she'll take the lead if we need to do some haggling. Like she'll even say, "Look, we need to haggle for being able to rent a back room. I know money. I'm probably the best person equipped to do this."
Yeah, you guys enter. It's a nice vibe. Like there's some nice lanterns in there. It smells good. It smells like there's good food cooking. There's a bored looking like teenage girl there at the reception desk. Or the to seat people. She looks a little surprised people came in. Looks you guys up and down, notices she's never seen you guys before. And she's gonna kind of weirdly go up, "Welcome to Yakiniku. Table for 3?"
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Grandpa's gonna be so happy.
Oh, your grandfather runs this place? Ava's gonna like try and play nice. You know, the basically business nice that you can do for a very small period before an acerbic personality comes out.
Mm-hmm. Grandpa's been he's helped with the launch and setup of every Yakiniku chain that we have started since our one back home in Konoha. So he's still here running this one with a few of our cousins.
Oh, cousins. Oh, family.
Mhm.
That's all. She's like, oh.
Yeah, she's saying this while she's gathering up some menus, and she's going to start leading you guys back. In fact, you guys are getting pretty great seating because there's just nobody here.
What?
And I just
That's not true. That's not true. There's like 2 or 3 or 4. In fact, no. There is somebody here. You guys can roll perception check to see if you guys notice.
I was
one of the
gonna
people
say.
who's here. Okay.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, can I do a check to see if there's any? Like, Nanamo would be specifically scanning for anyone who looks how he imagines a ninja would be.
Okay.
Like, not subtle at all. Oh,
No, go for it.
23.
Oh, nice. I got
Nanamo,
18.
your okay. A 20. I'm gonna give it to the. What did you get? A 23.
23, yes.
gonna-
18 plus
I'm-
5.
I'm gonna say it was actually above a 20. So yeah, Nanamo. Hikari, were you rolling perception?
8.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nanamo is the only one who notices this, and I think that actually works because what happens is Nanamo has like a Deku like nerd moment where like his senses just tingling. He's like, I sense a cool ninja, and he is going to like tilt his head over a little bit, like while you guys are talking to the girl at the reception, and you see at a bar in the restaurant there is this really big, tall guy, in like an all black, like very basic ninja suit that just has like, just like a little like headband, like a bandana that was like wrapped around the head, and he's kind of has that tilted up some. And if you look closely at his head, you can't tell if this man is either like wearing a dog mask or if he is literally just a big dog, like a big walking, talking dog. But basically what you see is a big like dog ninja tearing into ribs, like tearing into some rib bones at the bar. Like actually now that you look, he is like licking his fingers like with like licking barbecue sauce on his fingers. It's very like delicious.
Is that you?
Say again.
Checkers, is that you? Is what I said.
Yeah, it might as well be Checkers. I'm going more for a Scooby Doo.
I was going to say Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's more of a. If he's not talking with his mouth full, you'll.
If Ava's still negotiating, I'll kind of lean back to Hikari. There is a massive grin on Nanamo's face, having spotted this, and I'll just slyly just gesture with my hands. Ninja.
What?
Ninja.
Yeah, Hikari, if you're being toned by Nanamo, you now
casually
see the.
Looks over her shoulder as if she's looking at the lights on the ceiling, in order to see what the heck Nanamo is talking about.
If Nanamo is showing you, you see the big dog. You see the big doggy.
And Chica is that a giant ninja dog?
I don't know. It's really cool though, and I'm fighting every instinct to go and talk to them. So we need to.
Yeah, like right now, because the restaurant is so empty, you guys are actually might be the sole person keeping this place alive, because right now there is a massive plate of ribs that have yet to be eaten. And then there's a second plate that is just rib bones. And the moment he like gets done like skinning them, he just kind of chews on them like cigarettes.
Huh. Why am I being reminded of an Undertale character?
This character should actually be very familiar to one of you in the party right now, but I'm gonna wait to see. So yeah, that's him. You guys can go ahead and just follow the waitress who's directing you to your own table. It's gonna be pretty far away from the dog.
On the walk like round, has he got a headband showing? Is there anything I can distinctly?
No, it is
I can place
it is actually just like what Sensei Shini told you guys last time. Concentration mission. It's just like it's very basic, almost like insulting ninja garb. It's like, hey, we don't dress like that. We don't. I've never seen a ninja dress like that. This is the like oldest depiction of a ninja I've ever seen. Yeah, he's just kind of in black garb. He has he has like a grayish dark bluish fur almost.
I will point him out to Ava as we are kind of walking around. I'm trying to be very silent about every time I point it out. I'll just like gently nudge her with my elbow.
I am going
gesture
to roll
with my fingers. Can I do sleight of hand as well?
Yeah, roll your sleight of hand. I will just note his ears have flicked.
Oh god. Oh, that's not great. 14.
I'm sorry, what were you doing with your sleight of hand?
I'm just like elbowing, not elbow, sorry, it should be stealth, but I was just kind of nudging Ava with my elbow, gesturing to him, and I'm just mouthing ninja. Not saying it, just ninja.
Just seeing his outfit. Like little laughs under her breath. She thinks that's a really stupid outfit.
Meanwhile, I think it's awesome.
And Hikari is keeping an eye on him out the corner of her eye, just in case.
Yeah, he's not doing anything. He's still just kind of sitting there. Like he looks like he's actually about to finish up pretty soon.
Ava's gonna try and Ava's gonna try and convey with a look to her teammates.
In fact, actually, he's gonna go. We're gonna rhyme, and he's gonna slap a bunch of Rio on the table and yell "Rank-a-roo!" And then he's gonna just pick up the remaining bowl of. He's not even gonna take the ribs. He's taking the bones actually.
Mm,
And he's speeding out of there.
Do we chase or wait?
he honestly,
He is not reacted to you at all. If you want to chase him, it's up to you.
I could
okay.
try and follow and then just come back.
You're gonna
That's a-
want to roll stealth. if you
Hikari
do.
would probably stop you, pointing out that it would look suspicious for him to go after him at this point.
Also, if one
No,
of us
I should
tells
also
him-
I should also say with as high as you rolled in your perception, you get the feeling because it was that hard to like even notice him. This guy is probably closer to the league of Shini Sensei than you got.
Ah.
Just do with that as you will.
I could try to tell him, see where he goes.
I think, that's probably a good idea, but you should probably take one of us with you, not directly, but more check-in, just in case you die.
As you guys are having this conversation, a little man, like a very small man, he's tiny. He's a tiny guy. He's like Yoda sized. He is going to walk out and he's going to like examine the plate. It's like 3 rib bones left, and he's going to go, "Oh, that ninja hound, so ravenous. At least he appreciates my cooking." And he's gonna take the plate back, and so few people do. And he's taking that into the back.
I was just thinking, just like, so we're at a table. We didn't actually get offered to order anything, did we?
I mean, you got a bunch of. Honestly, the waitress has probably been looking at you guys a little weird, staring at like a single patron for a while, and she's already like put the menu she gathered for you guys in front of you. It's probably like sitting there with a pen and paper because like you're the only other people who need to order right now, and she doesn't want to walk away and then have to get called back.
Ava's gonna look
Then
for
Hikari
basically
is
ribs. She's gonna try and order the same thing.
Okay, that's one rib. That's one rack of ribs.
A rack of ribs.
Make that
You could
too,
do.
please.
You guys could just do it for the table.
Ooh,
Good
can we
idea.
please?
Yes,
Okay,
that'd be
sure.
great. Thank you. That way
Awesome,
you
yeah.
can pay for it. Just points at Nanamo very casually.
Grandpa,
Was this
don't turn
kind
the oven off yet.
It's kind of a look Nanamo gives you.
Or excuse
I
me,
look at-
Grandpa, don't turn the hot water off yet. He's gonna go, yeah, yes, dear, don't worry about it. Grandpa's special boiled ribs are finally taking off, I see.
Is that-
Ooh.
Yep.
yeah.
Ava's just- I mean, Ava
Jesus.
literally eats old broth because it's cheaper. So she's not picky with food.
Yeah, I mean the prices here are actually pretty they're pretty competitive, just considering like they're fighting against the economy, being so focused towards like ramen and like tea shops.
Mm. And Hikari, she just likes anything meat.
Mm-hmm. And
If
then
it's good-
I'm gonna
if it's
roll.
well cooked meat, all the better. She's going to be chomping that deer and like she hasn't eaten in days.
Well, no, I'm gonna flip a coin for this. That's a heads. The little old man. You guys are actually a little impressed by how like quickly he's like moving about the kitchen, by how tiny he is. Not long after, like he is pretty much like arguing with his granddaughter about like taking the you guys, and he wins the argument. He's like rushing over like while holding this big tray of ribs over his head, kind of like Fred Flintstone style, and he's gonna very smoothly slide them onto the table. I really hope you enjoy. I've never seen you kids before.
Oh
Yes.
no, we just got in today.
You should really be careful around here. It's a place that you usually come for business, not necessarily pleasure.
We're
What do you
we're
mean?
just passing through.
Well, with Paroco here, it can
Oh.
just get a bit stuffy.
What's Paroco? Just probably
well,
innocent
it's,
and interested.
It's the big conglomerate there. That's mobs coming out. It's the big, it's the big conglomerate that the big tower, Paraco. They have some food subsidiary businesses. They do that frozen sparrow meal thing where they have like a gourmet made sparrow bird that they've hunted and cooked and pre-prepared. I think it's pretty heartless. Me personally, I don't think there's much love in that kind of meal.
Agreed. It's home personally cooked food made with love is always the best.
Yes, ma'am. You are a wise one. Where do you call home? He's just making genuine conversation.
Oh, I'm
can I cut in?
from the west.
Yeah, go for it.
No. She was basically, if the words wave were going to come up, it was going to come, but it's like, west. Right. Oh, okay, good enough. Yep, cool. Hikari doesn't fuck this up.
I call the Land of Fire home. My family has been building up this business from the ground up. We've finally started a third location here in the Land of Hot Water, but it's just not been doing too well.
That's a shame. Business is the lifeblood of any village.
Meanwhile, Hikari is taking a bite out of the ribs, and her eyes just sparkle.
Actually, let me roll. That's an 8. You know what, Hikari, you just like them.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry.
These are boiled ribs. These aren't good. You're asking a name, Ava?
Yes, sir. I can get your name. I'm sorry.
This is Q.
Q. I'm Mr. Q. Q, sir. I was thinking you're saying that things aren't going very well here, and my friends and I were all about supporting local business. It's the best thing for the economy. So, maybe instead of going to one of those stuffy inns, we could rent a room from you here in the back. We'll sleep in the kitchen if need be. Just if there's a back door, we won't interrupt business, of course. We wouldn't but just somewhere to rest our heads, maybe get a good meal at the end of the day, rather than
excellent meal. You mean?
Yes, of course. Thank
chomping
you.
on a second rib.
Yes, excellent.
Well, my dear, I more so think it sounds a bit more fitting for employees. Would you just like a job? I couldn't pay you much, but I take very good pride in taking care of my workers. I would make sure you guys could room and board, meals, as you said, and who knows, maybe having some new young blood around.
We're probably only going to be here for a little while, but while we're here, I'm sure that Nanamo, actually, you shouldn't say Nanamo, I should say my friend, would be happy to help out.
What do you think, Nani-chan?
Oh,
Smart answer, yeah.
I'm just looking at the ribs. I've skeptically tried them. You said You said they're all right, haven't you?
I feel like
he rolled an
Hikari
8.
likes them. I rolled an 8 in terms of like how good they are, and I want to boiled ribs. I have had exactly one experience with boiled ribs when I went to some restaurant that was like a seafood place, and they just happened to have ribs on the. And I don't even know if they actually bought them. I'll just tell the story real quick. They had ribs on the menu, and one of my uncles there ordered the ribs. And he hates seafood. That's why he ordered the ribs. So as he tries these ribs and he begins to hate them, my mom, in the most asshole way she can, leans over and goes, "Hey, they probably just threw them ribs into the same water they boiled all the crab meat and stuff in." And he lost his. He was ready to fight with the staff. It was hilarious. Because like they weren't denying that. They weren't denying that happened. They weren't saying like, "No, we didn't do that." And the consistency of the ribs was kind of like, yeah, no, this just tastes like a rack of ribs somebody threw in some Zatarans and boiled. Like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, that's what it tastes like. It's like a gummy like pork rib that has been
so this is just pure Hikari here.
He actually
Hikari does not like wasting like dead flesh of like animals that have been killed for the sustenance of people. I feel like that's in her character.
And she's also not picky.
Yeah.
There is a look of like you've never seen in Anamo's eyes. It's as if his brain's trying to figure out how to fix it, and he's desperately fighting back against that instinct to try and figure out how to. And he's kind of almost clocked out of the conversation.
Yeah, what you guys are getting by this is like Q has decided, okay, if everybody just loves the hot water in this land so much, we're gonna do that too. He's given up on like what made his barbecue special, and he probably needs to be reminded of that. However, I want to roll something else. It's gonna be we'll do this. 1 is no, they're not coming yet. 2 is yes, they are coming yet. 3 is yes, they have come, and somebody else is coming too. That is a 2. The door to Yakiniku Q opens, and you all hear Shini Sensei's voice. I think they should be here. Let's see. There we go. And then he's gonna snap in Dead Poet Society. He's actually gonna run out of Nanimo's shadow and disappear into Shini. So you guys had some insurance the entire time.
Aww.
Is okay. Is he coming towards us, or is he hanging?
He's walking towards you, and there is somebody walking.
Okay, in that case, Ava's going to look to Kari and say, "Oh, your brother's here." She's the one with black hair. It seemed the most logical one to claim a resemblance.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, your brother's
Wait.
here.
Ari has black hair as well.
That's what it's saying. Your brother is here.
Oh.
We haven't gotten Shini art produced yet, but I think Shini's hair is going to be more of like a dark purple to like dark blue, like
in that case,
navy color. But it still looks like pretty close.
In that case, it would be my brother's here, because I have purple hair. Oh, my brother's here.
Fair enough. That probably is the closest brother-sis relationship we have here. Yeah, Shini knows to play along. Hey, sis. So I found...
Hi, Senpai.
Hey, he's gonna smile and wave at you guys. You guys found something good to eat? Found some good dinner?
Yes, these ribs, they're from that Land of Fireplace.
Try one!
Nanamo grimaces. He can't pull himself to lie. It's like, just be quiet.
Yeah, Shini Sensei will go ahead and try one because he likes food with bones in it.
Oh, he would.
He would, yeah. He would love food with bones in it, like chicken wings.
Drumsticks.
If you offer Shini a boneless wing, he'll yeah. Shini weirdly enough enjoys it as much as Hikari did.
Yes.
Hikari and Shini are bonding over love of bad food.
But hey, you can't go wrong with Yakiniku Q. I'm glad you guys found this place. This was where the client wanted to rendezvous.
Oh, right, of course. Ava is going very much through her head, like, what fake business are we saying we are? What fake business are we saying we are? Oh crap, we should have, established that before we got here. Shit. That's kind of what's going through her eyes right now.
Oh, has he said what design he wants his jacket to be yet?
Like, Ava gives Hikari a look like, I could kiss you. Yeah, just like, because they both have, interesting jackets, and even Nanamo has a distinct jacket. Exactly, yes.
Okay, the client is going to look a little upset about this, and now what you guys are going to notice, because you don't have to like perception. He looks like he is a kid around you guys' age, like not too much older or younger than you are. He's wearing like a big, like kind of like bucket hat that's like tied to his head with like a what is it called a chanmake. He has kind of like wrappings over his face. He's very big and buff. Like you look at him and like one of the distinct things you get the impression of is like he is probably stronger than you. Not by much. Like he's not as strong as Shini Sensei or even the dog ninja you guys just saw by any means, but he's not weak.
Oh, so it's Inari's latent potential. For what she's thinking with the hat. It's like, Sigma Inari.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Ava, you might be like, that's just what a Chad Inari.
Yeah,
I was like,
Chad Inari, cool.
I was like,
Chad Inari.
Again, and I just keep
said to roll
picturing
perception,
Inari.
right, class?
No, you don't have to because he's just there.
Oh, okay.
What he is going to do is he's going to be jacket. No, I called you here to kill Para. What are you talking about? He says it very loud.
He's gonna
Um,
laugh
And
like,
Hikari
And then
face
and then
palms.
and then Q is gonna look and his eyes are gonna widen. Kill Pero. Finally.
What?
"Ah."
Oh, we're amongst friends.
It's like, I told you that this would be the place that would be most amenable to our cause. Okay, it's just gonna drop the
I'm
nice
not even
act.
going to have a heart attack just then.
Okay, brass tacks, old man. She's gonna just go into regular Ava mode.
Just looking at Q.
So just looking at you, brass tacks, old man. You want to kill that fucker, but unfortunately, he's probably got eyes and ears everywhere. Since there are no eyes and ears here, we figure this is now our base. To best avoid being caught before we kill said fucker.
Oh, that's easy. Leaf Shinobi come here all the time. When traveling, this voice keeps turning into
Mob the
Mob.
Meow.
There's a very
Yeah.
specific voice I wanted for this character. This voice, this voice right here is more a little more Western almost. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out something, but the village council is just kowtowed completely to Pero, and but yeah, Leaf Shinobi from the Land of Fire come here all the time because we're affiliated with them. So if you guys are trying to help, if you're the resistance, feel free. Nobody's coming here to investigate anyway, other than Ninkin, who left a little bit ago.
Yeah, keeping on the brass tacks train. What the fuck was that?
That would be my best customer and probably the only redeemable force in the in Pero's army there. His strongest soldier, Ninkin the Ninja Hound.
See. Well, he is stimulating the economy, so maybe we can avoid killing him. But on the other hand, it works for Pero.
I would appreciate it. Ninkin always seemed like a pretty cool guy to me.
We'll see. Okay, we've got a safe house.
He might be able to be negotiated with. I won't speak for him. He still decides to work for Pero. But
yeah. People work for bad people for a lot of reasons, some beyond their control.
We sure do. Sheedy says. And then
Ava's not gonna bite on that one. She's gonna go, okay. Step 1, tick. Step 2, tick.
Yeah, that's the client met, and or at least you guys haven't really met the client. Yeah, he's gonna kind of jut his head out at you guys and be like, yeah, are you guys ready to get into this already? Have you figured out like how we're gonna do this?
I've got some ideas. Also, while we're doing this, I'm just gonna call you Big Inari, mostly for your safety.
Don't call me that.
I'm gonna call you by your name, you fuckwit.
Ava, language.
The name I'm entering in under isn't my real name, dummy.
She's gonna smile, just like, oh, okay. This one is actually planning ahead and is as acerbic as I am. Okay, she's just gonna give like a Mr. Popo smile. Of course.
Ava,
And that name
he's
would
gonna
be
completely ignore you. Tyza.
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 Tyza, I heard you. Yes. But then
You guys want to?
the masked poet? Just
Oh
giving
yeah.
Sheen a look.
Yeah, in that case, if you guys are going with the fifth entry idea, Sheen has explained the concept, and you guys have decided to enter the masked poet into the tournament with you, while two of you are going to apply for some of the positions. Sheeny will be entering as a guard, and somebody will just be a free agent, rolling stealth and kind of keeping themselves hidden inside the tower and the underground fighting ring.
Will they be playing the masked poet? Like out of combat?
If they want to, I was going to offer you guys that Sheeny could just make you a black ghost for it.
Okay, that could be helpful.
So it's up to you.
What do you two think?
Technically, you have a mission leader, but you guys are the players. So I mean, the mission leader will, in a lot of ways, coerce to you.
Yeah. Ava's going to say, what do you two think? Do one of you want to be the masked poet, or should we use, his little trick, and that'll keep someone to be a ghost, Or a rat in the walls, more accurately, I suppose.
Hikari pales at the idea of getting in the ring and immediately shakes her head.
So that's actually just... Ava just gives you a sigh, like... Okay. Well, the options then is you could go for kitchen girl, cook, or rat in the wall.
Kitchen girl?
Kitchen girl, okay. Nanamo, I'm presuming you would
Wait. Kitchen girl and cook are the same thing.
okay.
One is like a cook, one is like a maid.
Okay, that's interesting. Remember, Ava's looking at probably
One,
where
I'm about to say,
Hikari
one will be
and-
doing what Ava used to do for Gato, one will just be cooking for Pero.
I do have experience serving assholes like this.
And remember what I said was, if you take a role where your character has a proficiency in it, I will give you advantages on the deception checks and the stealths.
I have that. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if I just walked up to Pero's office and said, "Hey, I worked for Gato," my face would be vaguely familiar enough that he'd probably just give me the job.
Honestly, Ava, you could probably do a lot of stuff with that leverage. We can get into that. We can get into that later, though. That might be after our break. That will become the break for this session and then the start of session 3. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking.
You're just going, okay, look, I could probably do that. I could probably just walk right in, say I work for Gato, pretty much any job I wanted, so I can adapt. No,
in fact, Ava, me and you might talk. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. Me and you might talk off screen about something fun Ava could do.
Say, none of I presume you want to fight mostly, and Hikari, you don't want to fight.
You watch as I kind of
Hikari
shake
nods
my head.
very vigorously.
I shake my head back into the conversation. Yeah, fighting. 100% down. What am I doing? Who am I fighting?
You... Well, if we're going with the idea of the masked poet, you will be probably our main fighter. We're not in the ring. You'd probably have to be the rat in the walls then. Stealthing, trying to stay out of view. Avoid drawing attention to yourself. You're so unremarkable that should be easy.
I bite my lip.
Ava.
I bite my lip.
I just had to go for the
Bite my
jab
lip. Sensei suggested he could send a clone in.
Yes.
And as much as I would love to get into the ring, as much as I would
Nanamo,
love to.
Well, Nanamo, I know the substitution jutsu, so I could just substitute the clone with you if you need to. In fact, something that could happen is if the clone is getting close to losing, it could just switch with you, and then its skill set could change, and you guys could keep it up like that. Well, actually, no, that would be a little harder to do because once you switch mid-game or mid-match, you guys have an option to swap before matches and mid-match. Mid-match, I suppose.
Maybe it's a case of
Sorry, after you. Ava did have a thought, but she'll shut up.
Maybe it's a case of I lead the first few rounds, letting you guys gather some intel, and when we decide to strike, that's when we make the substitution with the clone. That way, nothing seems out of place, and you're not down a fighter.
That does make sense. Also, a thought occurs to me: if this is going to be a ring with lots of lights, if you're going to hold up a flash tag and wag it. Remember what happened during the bone test?
Oh, you guys do realize the black ghosts you fought were like way weaker than the normal ones, right?
Oh.
It was gonna just scowl a little at that, like, no, she didn't realize that.
I mean, even the ones you guys have sparred against.
Hikari looks embarrassed.
About I'd say like half as strong as the regular ones are. Like they can usually take a little more damage than that.
Able to die under a spotlight is my question.
Nah, no, that's not how that works.
Well, Nanamo, you still want to fight, and you'll be insufferable if you don't get to. So,
well, I suppose if the
agree
spotlight was strong enough. Don't worry about it, kids. You're fine.
I agree with Nanamo. He should do the first couple rounds if he wants to. Just try not to die. It'd be a pain in the ass if we lost our fighter in the tournament.
Oh, wait. We don't have to worry about switching over the Black Ghost. I have a better way to do this. Don't worry, kid. You'll have some insurance.
Fantastic.
reassuring. But I can promise you, I'm not going to die.
All right, Nanamo.
I was just gonna say, if you find yourself weak, come find me. I'll fix it. She sounds very unhappy about the idea of helping him, but it's like, well, logically, I need you at your best, so I will heal you. Or a
Saver.
fee. She makes the very pointed point at the end of, for a fee.
All right,
He's
then.
in a good mood. Can't ruin it.
It sounds like the roles have been decided, and Squad Zero now knows exactly what they want to infiltrate Pero's underground fighting ring.
Yep.
In that case, instead of just disguising you guys with transformation, Shini Sensei is going to actually like pull out like clothes and then like kind of anime way in which the characters will like pull out the outfit and like you hear like the fabric like swoosh, and then like everybody's in their new outfit like in like doing the pose. So Shini's now in the same garb that Ninkin the ninja hound was in. It's just like a very basic ninja garb. Then you have Nanamo in the what has now been called the mass poet outfit, which we've decided is going to kind of like Hanya from Kenshin.
Yep, makes sense.
And then you have maid, not even like in a maid outfit, but like it's just like more casual clothes, Ava. And then chef, you have Chef Hikari, and then you have maid Ava.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all just kind of posted up in your poses.
Yeah, Ava's just gonna just give a bit of a...
You're posted up in your poses with Taiza like kind of in front. And then Shini's gonna say, all right, mission start.
He
And then as soon as he says that, he disappears. he is gone.
Yes,
He should not enter this place with you guys. So yeah,
Right,
he's
exactly.
gonna turn into a shadow and body flicker away.
Because Ava just looks for Tim. It's, I can't believe Bonus Sensei put me in a fucking maid costume.
Nanamo will like seeing Hikari like assumingly wearing some sort of chef outfit. He will try to dirty it up a little bit, help sell it a bit more. Having worked in a kitchen, he knows little details on outfits like that which would help. So if it just helps,
I imagine he tells
disguise ever
Hikari
so
if anything
slightly.
bad. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I imagine he tells Hikari if something bad happens, just yell, "Where's the lamb sauce?"
Yeah, just yell a lot, and you'll be fine.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm not very good at yelling.
I was about to say that will not be challenging for Hikari at all.
No,
Hikari.
Hikari.
Just imagine that you're gonna die if you don't do this. Because sometimes it truly feels like that when you're in the kitchen.
Hikari, look at me. You know your 3 siblings?
Mm-hmm.
You know what will happen if you don't come back from this mission? As no Nancy, use your words.
Right!
There we go.
You've got this, Hikari. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right, you guys, I assume would begin to kind of file out from Yakiniku Q in in order that wouldn't be too suspicious. So
Yes.
Taiza probably goes. Well, not first. You know, he'll go. And then not long after that, you guys are entering. Or in fact, I'm going to say you guys actually end up.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've been going for almost an extra hour since we talked about taking a break.
I'm so sorry. I had meant to go ahead and introduce the spot for the break. That's what this was supposed to be. It's like you guys walking in, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the break, or this can just be the end of this session if you guys need to.
I'm just pointing that out.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can keep me in line if you need to. So yeah, this will be. You guys are basically you chose to do the exact time you needed to. You have joined a procession of like 16 other fighters and some other employees who are walking in to Peroco, so you guys have a perfect cover to get in. Nobody's questioning anything. You're being allowed right in. The two of you who have like employee outfits on, you guys actually go a different direction, and then Tyza and the masked poet, aka Nanimo, are going down. So you guys are going to do some interviews, and they're not even long interviews. But I don't want you. So you guys are getting your checks. You're all in. The infiltration mission into the Bamboo Village fighting ring has begun. Because this will be the break of an actual session, I'm going to go ahead and say I have been your Dungeon Master plus Ultraman, aka Plus, aka Weeb, and I have had my wonderful players, the always dependable and pernicious and amazing Pickle Dill.
Thank you. I've been playing Ava Rice, the medic nin.
Oh yeah, I gotta say you've been playing. The reliable Rune Scribble playing.
Kisho Hikari, the level 2 information operative.
Perfection. And the stupendous Storybuster playing.
Nanamo Junbai, playing the level 2 Hunter Nin.
I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys later. And that is the end of session 2.
It had only been a few days since Akari and Team Zero left on their first set of C-rank missions. All the adults in the village seemed thrilled about it, even if some were a little sad to lose out on all that chakra-empowered labor and service around the community. If the Wave Ninja hadn't set out so early in the morning, the village surely would have celebrated them to the best of its ability again, since doing so would only help the surging popularity of the Shinobi program, as the academy principal and its sole teacher had even begun a more expansive campaign of looking for new students, or convincing past failures to give it another go with harsher training. It was actually beginning to just barely cut into the admission of the waste populace in the so recently revived regular education system, since in the wake of Gato's regime and the Konoha ninja becoming their saviors, ninja work little by little looks a lot more appealing to many who slaved away under Gato for a pittance, or whom literally sacrificed all their blood, sweat, and tears alongside figures like Elder Tazuna to escape his tyranny by any means necessary. I mean, who likes regular school? This is of course how one Shion Kesho was feeling, as he and his twin sister Hiroko and younger sister Rinka make their way out of the dinky closet of a room deemed the classroom/homeroom and study hall for all vaguely elementary school age kids of the village. So obviously, even with more and more kids their age signing up to try their hand at being shinobi, it was cramped, and the idea of studying with such a wide range of other kids could be kind of tiring, even for someone as studious as Hiroko, while Rinka seemed to enjoy the chaos just fine, as long as people weren't moping around and frowning like they did all the time until just under a year ago now. But Shion had it, and as soon as classes let out for that day, he resolved that he wouldn't be coming back to school in the morning. It was just too much of a bother, and a big waste of time, when he could be making money and supporting the family like Hikari was. He was the second oldest and the man of their household after all, even if he was only born before his twin Hiroko by 6 minutes. Thankfully, neither of his sisters really saw fit to try and nag or change his mind about this decision, either because they were already tired of doing so, or because they were so smug that no one wanted to actually hire a part-timer when they just gotten a taste of the sweet, sweet power of the D-rank mission. But he'd show them both. He knew a surefire evergreen option that was sure to work. What do you mean you can't hire me behind my sister's back? We're already practically family with how much we share and do together, Hachan. I'd just be helping you out the same way Big Sis used to. Shion indignantly whined at Mr. Hachikumo, Nanachi's father, as the butcher continued packaging fresh cuts and cleaning up his tools. The man had indeed adopted the Keshos, all things considered, at least for the risk and strain supporting them during Gato's time incurred, so he was rather used to how hard-headed they could be. It's just as I said, Shio. When Hikari and I began to work together, the circumstances were very different. Things are less difficult now, and the whole point of her taking this new job was to make it so you three will be better off, the man said as he cleaned his hands off, while from the back of the shop, Nanachi emerged, wheeling her father another wild boar in a cart, with his neck turned in an odd way. Another of Hikari's kills that she'd gone out of her way to get before leaving, so that way, her family and friends would be well stocked up for both selling to the village, and for their own meals. Exactly. Kari wants you three to focus on school, so that's what you need to— Shion, having hung his head in exasperation, would suddenly wonder why his future big sister-in-law had stopped mid-sentence, along with why everyone else had gotten so quiet, until he looked back to her, to find a creepy-looking black disembodied hand perched on her shoulder, while Nanachi and everyone else would in turn scream, and point out that one was on Shion's as well. Needless to say, what occurred next was quite a lot more yelling and screaming, with Hachi even trying to defend his daughter and the Keshos with a butcher knife, until the two ghost hands proved their friendliness with a funny little dance and a handshake. Now they all finally understood what had Kari and the other Genin of Team Zero so freaked out when they first met their sensei. However, nevertheless, the creatures proved to be stalwart messengers, signaling for the recipients of their messages to open their letters in privacy, or more specifically, for Mr. Kumo to lead, since no letter was addressed to him this time around. When given the order to transpose the message by the recipients, the first hand would a bit eerily sit up on his disembodied wrist and begin to perform a motion which was halfway between sign language and hand signs, and also partially writing out text in the air, as words formed from shadow would dance in the light in front of their readers.
This is a message for Shino, Hiroko, and Rinka Kesho. Hey there, kiddos. How have you been? I really miss you. Sorry that our way of communicating isn't exactly cuddly? Shino, I hope you're not trying to sky off of school again. Hiroko, remember that play is also important. Don't just lock yourself in your room to study all day. And Rinka, please at least try to keep your pranks to a minimum. Speaking of, how are classes going? Learning anything interesting? Made any new friends? You all are eating properly, aren't you? I should probably stop asking questions before you all get too bored. Let's see. I'm guessing you want to know what my team and I are doing right now and where we're going, am I right? Well, Sensei has given us a talk about not sharing confidential information, so I can't tell you much. But I don't think there's any harm in telling you that we're going to a place with lots of hot springs, and we're there to deal with someone that I guess you could say was a fan of the Gato man we've been hearing about. Yeah, no accounting for taste, am I right? So far, things have been a bit strange between Ava and Nanamo. One moment they seem to be getting along, and the next they're at each other's throats. Just the other day, the two had been talking while running punishment laps. I will not be repeating the words that they said to earn that punishment. Nanamo was even making an effort to match Ava's pace. But when I looked away for a few moments to examine a bone that Sensei had given me, all of a sudden I heard them shouting at each other about knowing where the other sleeps. I'm going to see if I can find out what keeps causing this animosity between them. Maybe if it can be addressed, they can be friends. Or at least stop trying to beat each other up every day. Speaking of which, I think I'm starting to wear down Ava. She's not quite as snappy as she was before we left. Maybe by the time we get back, I'll have succeeded in becoming her friend. Wish me luck. All my love, Hikari.
A bit excitedly, the three Keshos acclimate to the creepiness of DPS rather quickly, as it is allowing them to speak with their beloved big sister from so far away after all. Unfortunately, this leaves the order in which they reply a bit chaotic. Big sis, it's only been 3 days. I'm really glad to hear from you, but I hope nothing bad's already happened. And I know you said your team will be traveling for a long time, but just remember to rest properly and don't let anyone walk over you or order you around just because it's ninja work, okay? Oh, and by the way, I want you to talk with Ha-chan about letting me work, at least just part-time. He says he won't let me without your permission, Shion stated, wanting to confront his problem head on, holding the hand up to his face as if he were staring down his big sister for real, since she could after all be far scarier. However, before he could continue, it was snatched away. Hikari Kesho, we need to have a serious talk as well. I don't want to be a bother, but we discussed how much of what you made from working you'd leave for us to live on, and how much you'd use for yourself. You left so much money from your first missions with us. Don't do that again. We can get by with way less than 70% of your earnings, sis. Oh, and school is going great. I'm already top of the class. Hiroko began to blabber much more than her twin, until rather skillfully, Rinka leaps between her siblings, and snags the shadow construct to dominate the rest of the reply to Hikari herself. Big sis Kari, what is this thing? Why is it so creepy and ugly? I love it so much. Error. Unintelligible speech due to Messenger clenching Dead Poet Society in a hug. Wait, is it yours? Can I have one? Can I keep this one? Ooh, what are you and your team gonna do when you stop that bad man? Good luck and we love you. Rinka rattled off questions of her own, and tried to have the last word, as she began to run and bounce around the room to play keep away with her siblings, eventually causing enough ruckus as to bring the butcher storming back into his store, so that Hikari would end up hearing all kinds of mischief and merriment being made without her. However, the Dead Poet Society addressed to the Keshos, either having hit a word and or an exuberance limit, would escape from their clutches and disappear into the shadow of the doorway leading out of the butchery, sending the trio of kids after it, while Hachi sighs and begins cleaning the store once again. As the Keshos look for their hand outside, however, they are approached by someone they'd eventually recognize as Hikari's academy teacher. A nervous smile on the man's face. I was looking for you, Keshos. That is, if you don't mind me doing so. That is, in light of how well your sister did, the village has been talking, and we'd really like for you three to come and take a small assessment. Meanwhile, in Nanachi's room.
This is a message for Nanachi. How are you? I hope the kids aren't causing you any trouble. I know they can be a bit of a handful sometimes, but I always appreciate you doing this. I know that this is longer than my usual hunting trips. Believe me, I'm more than a little nervous myself, but it makes me feel so much better knowing you're with them. You're the one person I trust to look out for them when I'm not there. The mission, or rather, missions, seem like they're going to be taking us into situations that will likely involve blood. can't honestly say I'm looking forward to that. I've been able to keep that little tidbit a secret from Ava and Nanamo so far. It's lucky that they haven't questioned why I keep handing off the game that I've been hunting to Nanamo to gut and skin. Something happened a few days ago. Nanamo found out about a hobby of Sensei's and was making fun of him for it with Ava. It was nice to see them getting along for once, but I couldn't stand them talking like that. Not when Sensei was so clearly happy doing it. I grabbed their ears and told them to knock it off, but then Ava said, "You're not my mother." I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Did I overstep? Did I give the impression that I'm trying to replace her mama? I didn't mean to. I know that that's impossible. I couldn't replace her mother any more than I could replace mine. And I don't want to. I don't want to be her mom. I just want to be her friend. What am I doing wrong? It was so easy with you. You probably think I'm being silly, worrying about something like this when we're heading off into danger, but I can't help thinking about it. Maybe it's the topic of mothers that keeps bringing it back to mind, along with other things. I'm having nightmares again. I've been able to brush them off with Nanamo and Ava, but I don't think Sensei is buying any of my excuses. Every time I give an excuse, he gives the look. You remember the one your father always used on you whenever you tried to lie to him? It doesn't help that one of our missions has a very high likelihood of causing us to run into bandits. I can't think about them without wondering how many they left orphaned like us or Ava. And I can't help thinking about that without getting this painful burning sensation in my chest, like someone is stabbing me with a hot poker. I don't know what to do, Nana-chan.
Hi, Kari-chan. I'm doing good, even though I'm already beginning to miss you. And Dad is great with all that meat you got him before you left. The kids seem like they're, well, school is school, you know? I think even kids like Hiroko who really love learning can only enjoy it so much, especially when there's other stuff to worry about. But like I told you when you decided to become a kunoichi, there's nothing for you to worry about. I've always had your back and I always will. Okay, you'll actually have to tell me what your sensei's hobby is at some point, since now I'm oh so very curious. But as for your teammates, I don't think you're being silly. I think you should just keep being you, bestie. I know that sounds cliche, but think of it this way. Ava and Nanamo are only 2 years older than Shion and Hiroko, and 3 older than Rinka. Those kids who saved the wave a year ago weren't even that much older than them. And growing older in general seems like a luxury most ninja aren't afforded. You don't have to replace anyone's anything, and you know you aren't trying to, so it's okay. You're just trying to be a good teammate, right? And in a way, that kinda means acting the same way as you do to be a good big sister, or how someone would act to be a good mother. You guys are ninja, but you're still kids. You're gonna have some feelings that are hard to handle, and that goes especially for the younger ones of the team. And you too, hun. Cut yourself some slack. Stressing about this kind of stuff while on a mission can't be good for you. You know what Shion would say. Just keep having each other's backs and helping each other come back home. And in the end, I think those two will just be another part of our little growing family. As for your sensei nightmares and the possibility of encountering bandits, I'm sorry, Kari. I don't know what to tell you that would make those things instantly better, since I think they're just kind of sadly facts of life. If you're gonna be a ninja, you have to open up and deal with your sensei. And probably a lot of other ninja you don't get along with well. I mean, you never told me what Mr. Shinny did to make you dislike him so strongly, but you shouldn't let that stop you from learning from him, at least. And ninja or not, we both know how ugly and cruel yet beautiful the world can be. Nightmares will come, and at some point, even if we don't want to, we all have to wake up and process them to prepare for the next ones. I mean, I did tell you I used to wet the bed much longer than Rinka ended up doing so after all. And as for the bandits, well, you became a ninja to take better care of your family. But if in the process of doing so, you can make this world just a tiny bit safer and easier to live in by taking down a few bandits, that may be worth seeing a bit of blood. Just don't lose yourself, okay? Remember, keep bringing yourself and your team home, Kari. I think that's a lot more valuable and admirable than just making a lot of Rio. I love you, bestie. Okay, Mr. Hand, I'm done. Thank you so much for your time.
Nanachi said as she finished her correspondence, and with that much gentler send-off, Dead Poet Society would give an odd sort of salute, before diving into a shadow in the room to disappear, and deliver the reply from this correspondence alongside his companion.